things come to light by accident. When it remains on, sounds like it's meant to be. Oh, the journey starts from where we did first step. No one's sure what lies ahead before the breath.
Hey Max, how's it going, man? Ooh, how's it going, man? I'm kind of quiet. Is that better? I think I was just really far. No matter how far. Is that better? Nothing much. Just working out. Nice, nice.
When there's a beginning, there's an ending too. As we go, we'll come across many predicaments. Feel like lights beneath, colors of love that's excellent.
The stream at EU friendly time? Hell yeah! Ignotus, how's it going, man? How you doing? I've seen you in stream before, I believe, right? Just been a while? I'm pretty sure that name sounds familiar. This time's every time? We could do this time. Kill. Oh, huge! Plague, how's it going, man? How you doing? Just 4 more days for Bleach. Let's go! Man, I'm so excited for Bleach to come back. You know, I've only at the end of Volume 5 and VODs had no time the last few months. No worries at all. But I am... see, I did remember you. So we just got out of the show? No, I finished work. I just went for a drive really quickly because I just wanted to clear my head a bit. And then, yeah, came back, started streaming. Unhinged, how's it going, man? Maestro of Mold. Call me crazy, but that could be one of the outer pathway high sequences or mid sequence at least. The tube, the gram. Your hair always looks better messier. Are you implying that it's messy right now? I don't know if I like that, but I mean, I'll take it, I guess. After the finale, we need to remake it out, Smith. For Bleach. I might have to put this on, it's easy. Lyrics, teleprompter. Oh, Ignotus, dude! Thank you so much. You didn't have to at all. Oh, thank you so much. I've been doing so... Thank you for the membership, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'd say one of us. You're not a member, Ruth. I realized this one like 6 hours ago, but I'm almost done. Holy shit, Plague, seriously? Oh my god, dude, you're genuinely flying. I was earlier. Well, hey, you're a member on Easies. Ever since Turning Point, the story's been insane. You're reading Mushoku Tensei, right? I'm not wrong? I'm just fucking with you if you know that. All Bleach animators should go to Kingdom. I've not seen Kingdom, nor have I read it. I want to, though. Yeah, for like 2 weeks now. Dude, I have been meaning to watch the new season. Listen, I dislike him. I dislike his character, but it is. I do watch it. Harsh, how's it going, man? Fuck this, bro. Let's go to cuddle. I'm so done with this shit. Is this the one? I'm watching a stream the other day, just kind of catch them live because they start at like 4 a.m. Just want to leave some support. Oh, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Is this time better for you? Oh, that's disgusting. 51:49. Oof. Close. Watch me unhinged. I know, I've heard such good things about the manga. I've not read. I've not heard anything about the anime. I don't know anything about it, but I've only ever heard amazingly good things about the manga. Cuddle. Jeez. Read the manga at least till the beginning of season 3. It's 11:30 p.m., so it's okay. Yeah, I was doing early. I'm probably gonna be doing earlier for the next like 2 weeks or so. Until I finish COI, because I'm going to be reading like 12-13 chapters at stream, which is like 2 hours of straight reading. And at that point, if I start doing it at like 8 p.m. by the end, I'm like drowsy and like not sharp, and I don't enjoy that. Because it's worse for you guys, it's worse for me, because I'm not like, I don't remember everything quite as well as I should. And I dislike that. I was like, oh, and especially like this week because I'm trading. It doesn't hurt me as much to be like, oh well, you know, right after work to just start streaming. I'm like, ah, fuck it, doesn't bug me, it's fine. XS, how's it going, man? I said, okay, don't say, hey, I told you to stop that whistling, okay? I'm just getting bossed around at this point, good lord. Chris, how's it going, man? What have you been watching all day? Already got one of those. Already got one of the connections. Wow, big guy in a suit of armor. Take that off. What are you? And our Playboy philanthropist. There we go. Agent Kim reactivated? Have I seen that? I feel like maybe that's been pitched to me on my Netflix as well. No, it's just some religious thing. I'm not allowed to whistle because it calls bad things, so listening to it is a bit strange. Is that a... what religion is that? What? What? Fuck! Wait! Wait, you telling me Muslims are not or shouldn't whistle? What? By culture, if you whistle inside a house, you won't have money is correct. That's hilarious. Fuck. Can Muslims... Okay, wait, no, not can. Do Muslims not whistle? Whistling is prohibited? What? I'm not. Jesus Christ, I don't know what this fucking website is that I'm going to. Okay, according to Imam, that name, that's cool. Whistling and clapping hands is considered as a prayer for them. For both of these actions, a replacement for supplication and tasbih, something. It is also said that they would clap their hands and whistle when they are performing worship. Oh, oh, I understand. This is saying that whistling and clapping is considered a prayer for the... there's a term for it, right? In Islam they call like the non-believers something or other. They call them... It's not like dissidents. They call them like a... There's a word for it. I don't know. Oh, so it's saying like, oh, you're acting like a non-believer.
I never felt like...
Hence, it is clear that clapping hands while worshipping is prohibited, for it resembles the actions of the disbelievers. As for whistling outside of worship, such as when singing, joking, or others, the scholar presented the opinions as follows. Whistling is prohibited. This is the opinion of the Permanent Committee of Scholarly Research and IFTA, which states that whistling is prohibited if there is a tradition of that and their bad morals. Oh mate, what is this word? What is this word? That term is derived from the Arabic verbal root to be ignorant or stupid or act stupidly. In the Quran, it means specifically ignorant people or to be in a state of ignorance. Sal, how's it going, man? Weird time for you to walk in, eh? Okay, don't say a direct word to describe what... Okay, don't. Sal, can you tell me what the plastic ends of shoelaces are called? If you cannot, I'll be really sad. Yeah, my mom always told me whistling is called the jinns, which is basically like the... or the devil minions. Good, I'm good. I finished half a bottle of the vodka. The vodka brand vodka that you showed me yesterday. Wait, is that why you're so opposed to when I drink? Because I don't think Muslims are supposed to drink either, right? Every Muslim I've ever met does, mind you, but... shoelaces? They're called aglets, and their purpose is sinister. I've never met a Muslim in my life who doesn't smoke and drink, but then the pork is like, whoa, 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 it's against my religion, man. I can't afford to lose brain cells. Do I get a passing mark, streamer? I had the. You're gonna say because you had AGE, you get passing marks. I think aglets is spelled AGELLETS, I believe. If that's the case, that's like what, 3 out of 7. That'd be aglets. How do you spell this? Okay, no. Aglet is spelled AGLET. So you got 2 out of 3 letters right. Or 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 would be 40%. Is 40% a pass where you come from? I think it's 50 here, but I know it's different across the planet. No, it's aglet. Aglet. An aglet is a small sheath, often made of plastic or metal, attached to the end of shoelaces, cords, or drawstring. I'm from a country town. We'll give you a pass, fine. Listen, in my country you would fail. But I am nothing if not respectful of other cultures. Ask Uth. Also, those Muslims you met are LARPers. Okay, whoa. Listen, man. I think your relationship with God is like... Since you were asking, Season 3 has been better than 2 so far. Cool, nice. I will check it out. I will... what was I... I'm gonna watch Season 3. I'm super excited for 1,000 Year Blood War. No, wait, is it 1,000 Year Blood War or is... No, is it the Hell Arc at this point? I know, but your country had a high skill requirement. And the drink and smoke would say no to pork. That's LARP. Listen. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Listen, man, I think your relationship with God is like super personal, alright? Like however you want to see that. Listen, you believe in God, you don't believe in God, you believe in a power, but 1,000 Year Blood War is this Saturday. I know, I'm so excited! Let's go! We're about to get we're about to get the final form of Hell Arc will start soon. That's what it is. Okay, cool. What you need to know is in Oz, that's how to remake a car from scratch and how not to eat people. I heard it's only 10 chapters, don't know if that's true. Oh yeah, ooh, you guys have to pray like, is it like 3 times a day or something? Bro, I pray like 3 times a year. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I don't pray as such because I just don't believe in that specifically. I will like talk to my God. I'm like, hey God, listen, I hope you're listening, but I could, I just want to let you know. But drinking, smoking, and eating pork are just things you don't do. Even if you drink, it should not be excessive. And smoking, not at all. Do you believe I used to be Christian? No? Listen, Sal, you've read COI, you know this. God bears all our sins. Of course. No, 5 times a day? brother. I I could not be part of that religion. I would immediately fail out. I just forget. I'm asked to do like the very like once every 6 months. My mom will be like, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'll just forget. I'm like, fuck. It's 5 times a day. Oof. He will bear mine. He will not bear mine. No. First of all, wrong bear, not. And what? You don't believe in Adam? Adam, come on. Who would? If you believe in the Christian God, then really, wouldn't he bear all sins? But you don't believe in Adam? Bro, you're not an Adam supporter? What? I was in a religious... I went to a Catholic high school. So I went to Mass exactly once. The very first time, because my bus took me straight there and I did not know. And I was like, fuck. I was trapped. And then after that, I always got out of it. I never went again. Haha. Got him. Let's do hotel concerts. Concert hotels, idiot. Yeah, there you go. Nah, he's a fraud. What? Do you not remember when Aman pulled out the psychoanalysis sheet of LEMMiNO and read out his whole past 6 months to him? It was like, patient needs specific encouragement to ensure that he does not end his own trauma. The goat. You think a fraud could do that? Nah. Okay, hold on. Let me cook though. Let me cook. $8:42. Fuck. Oh, I was so close. 8:50 is generally my cutoff for like good day. Fuck. Hey, you weren't here. Uth, you basically have to reread COI, man. I hate to tell you. Can you send the link to this live? Right? Yeah. Okay. 8:50 generally my cutoff for a good day. Fuck. Oh, 8 off is so cringe. Sup, Sal? Of all the dailies, this is the worst one. What? No, I love this one. Wait, Rosego could? What? Rosego died. Rosego's the bum. You remember? He got beat by a lower sequence of his own pathway? My motherfucker should have been able to control climb. No, but he had 2 half-grade old ones. Nah. Fuck off, idiot. Die. Listen, if he was goated with the sauce, he would win, okay? Okay. Let's go with the 3-minute blitz. Let's go with the 3-minute blitz. Fine, have plot armor. You could solo the fraud that is Adam. It was an act of charity. What's this? I'm gonna go back to drinking. I'll need to buy another bottle of more energy drinks. Alright, have fun, buddy. If you're up in like 2.5 hours or so, I'll join you in VC, okay? Finish an entire bottle in an hour. Jesus Christ. I genuinely worry about you I worry about you some days, man. Only some days, though. Other days I'm like, he would genuinely be difficult to kill. But I'm like telling you, if season 3 does justice to what I'm reading, it'll be incredible. If, coulda, shoulda, woulda, you know, we wait until the end. We don't judge prematurely. Where if you live it, it's weak, you barely train it. Then you clearly do not know me, Sal. No, I be lurking, but it's not enough. Yes, master, I will train my chi up. I've been lacking in my training, I'm aware. Well, absent, drunk, don't know away. What? What? For that beef saved your ass from a pin? So what you're saying is, I'm doing pretty well. Bitch. He has to sacrifice his rook now. Oh god, the music! That main one goes for main 2. I had a mate in 1 here? Oh, of course I had a mate in 1. Sorry, sorry, Mike, that was disgusting. For the pot. Fire in my soul, fire in my heart. When you have mate in 1, look for something else. Not better or worse, just different. To surprise your enemy, you must surprise yourself first. Man, LARPing Persona here is so fun. Who's LARPing? You're LARPing? I agree. Hope has never played a single one of the Persona games. What a bum.
When there's a beginning, there's an ending too.
Okay. 10:13. The Queen's request. Franca showed Lumion Queen Mystic's reply and asked for his opinion. Should I go? Lumion replied without hesitation. I'll go. Alright, Franca understood Lumion's meaning. She now had to completely switch to behind-the-scenes support and should avoid meeting important people unless she found an opportunity to make others despairs. Sometimes she'd rather send Ludwig. Franca considered briefly, then typed on her screen. I have an important matter this afternoon. I'm leaving to watch VODs. Aw, bye Ignotus. Thank you so much for coming. You have a good evening too, buddy. I will hopefully see you tomorrow because I'll try to stream at this time. So even if just at the beginning, I'll try to hopefully see you for a bit. Hey, remember how you thought the Celestial Worthy was just another earlier Beyonder up like 2 weeks ago, LARPing much? Ignotus, dude! Oh my god, thank you! You didn't have to at all. Thank you so much, dude. Holy shit. Seriously, thank you. W's in the chat for Ignotus. Thank you. Oh, let's go. MX and Nightwalker got one. And 3 randos as well. Someone's gonna be watching in VOD and going, Rando? You this absolute dickhead. She now had to completely switch. Oh, wait, hold on. After considering briefly, first she then typed on her screen, I have an important matter this afternoon. Can LEMMiNO replace me to meet with you? After sending the message, Franca glanced at Lumion and added, she knows more details about the relevant matters than I do. That's fine, Queen Mystic replied. I got a few 100 hours of entertainment. Happy to help. Thank you so much for coming, buddy. Have a good night. Go meet Queen Mystic in your female form. Do not reveal your identity as security guard Li Ming. Although Queen Mystic is our ally, we can't let her know everything, especially identities that must still remain undercover. The last time they cooperated with Queen Mystic to deal with Zaratul, Lumion had also transformed into a demoness of despair. Lumion raised an eyebrow and said teasingly, it feels like your IQ has increased since you fell into a situation where you'd lose control and die if kicked out of the dream. What's that supposed to mean? It proves I'm inherently smart. I just don't usually bother to think. Anyway, you're not stupid, so you can think for me. Right. Right, Ludwig said. This made Franca feel silent. Somehow having the child Ludwig agree with her didn't quite seem right. I'll go buy you lunch, then scout the location and wait for Queen Mystic, Lumion said. 2 p.m., 15 Jinhua Street. Lumion, dressed in a woman's shirt and loose pants, wearing sunglasses and a mask, using teleportation to bypass the security guard, and went directly to the book warehouse. LEMMiNO was still a wanted person. There was no one in the book warehouse. Lumion looked at a pile of packaged goods and tall metal shelves, walking forward leisurely. Suddenly, a lush peach forest with blooming flowers appeared, a winding stream in the forest flowing towards a towering mountain range. This isolated Lumion from the outside world. Then Queen Mystic walked out from the forest. Her slightly curly brown hair was simply tied up, wearing a loose white shirt with patterns, tied at the waist, exuding a youthful and strong student vibe. Going back to reading? Bye, Plague! Thank you so much for coming, buddy. Good afternoon, Your Highness, Bernadette, Lumion greeted. He still greatly admired Emperor Roselle and was still respectful to Queen Mystic. Good afternoon, she nodded. She didn't engage in small talk and went straight to the point. Tell me all that happened, not just about the mirror people. Lumion only admitted small details about his own changes. He started from when Lushan used her reporter ability, and suddenly Frank and Jenna started talking, realizing they were an illusory figure in someone else's dream. Returning to Mushu Hospital, seeing Grisha, Peng Deng's roommates, at the scene through someone else's short video, and the issues with the colorful parrot. Only when Lumion finished did she ask, is Lufu a transmigrator? She knows of transmigration. Well, they have done quite a few things over the years, possibly even helping translate her father's diary. And she can enter and exit Mr. Fool's dream. Yes, Lumion nodded. Since Lufu saw herself in those cocoons on the light gate, does she believe that everyone in the cocoons is a transmigrator? Queen Mystic inquired. Without a doubt, that is what she believes, Lumen cooperated. What are her guesses about the 3 empty ones? She suspects the ancient sun god, Emperor Roselle, and Mr. Fool. Bernadette's expression changed slightly. It showed no signs of shock. The ancient sun god may not have come from a cocoon. He is of a different origin. If it wasn't the ancient sun god, then who? Bernadette didn't explain, simply mentioning this. No wonder Mr. Fool's dreams contain all of the fairy tales and legends I've heard. No wonder those fairy tales and legends have such power. Lumen closed his mouth, not knowing how to respond. After joining the research society, he knew that where Roselle's inventions, writings, and sayings came from. After entering the Dream City, he confirmed this even more. However, he still admired Roselle, believing that the Emperor's life journey from an ordinary person to wearing the crown and finally ascending to godhood was truly rare, inspiring, and admirable in this world. Moreover, the Emperor did indeed change the trend of the times, the world situation, and various aspects of his country. His legacy is still frequently mentioned to this day, still benefiting many lower and middle class people, and changing the destinies of how many. Bernadette turned sideways, looking towards the brilliant, dreamy, pink peach blossom forest that resembled the night sky burning with clouds, and muttered, "Actually, he rarely told me if those fairy tales and legends were written by himself, thought up by himself. Most of the time, he would say, I have organized the fairy tales I heard as a child. I tell you the stories that your grandmother once told me, the stories that belong only to us. Stories from my dreams that once brought me a lot of fantasy. I hope they can make your childhood colorful and dreamy too." When he said these things, it was as if he was looking through me, recalling his own past. My sister also told me those tales, and every time she did, I had the same feeling. Lumen lowered his head. At this moment, he felt he had a strong resonance with the Queen. One's father a transmigrator, and the other's a sister. And now they had both passed away, but still retaining some hope of resurrection. Truly, Kami. Bernadette looked at Lumen and nodded. It wasn't until I entered this city and lived here a while that I truly felt I understood him. Me too, Lumen said. Queen Mystic then shook off that look and said, "I want to ask you for a favor." "Oh? What favor?" Lumen pricked up. Whether she's currently cooperating with the one worshipped by the Aurora Order, or has jumped back to the Celestial Worthies camp, or is swaying between the two, her ultimate goal is not what I want to see or am willing to accept. I hesitated for a while, but today I have made up my mind. I want to kick her out of the dream as soon as possible, so she cannot benefit from this dream. For this, I am willing to accept the consequence of never returning here. You also gotta remember. What if his wife also had like side pieces? Like, what if they were just kind of chill like that? They were like, "Yo, you know what? Let's just have a polygamous relationship. You be you, I be me. We're laughing. We be together for the kids, though." You want to take action against the mirrored Roselle so soon? He noticed that Queen Mystic referred to the mirrored Roselle not with the pronoun her, representing angels, but lowercase her, symbolizing females. Yes. Relying on myself alone, even with an artifact, it would be difficult to expel her, so I need you. No problem, you provided us with great help in the Zaratul matter, Lumen agreed. I will prepay you a fee for this, Queen Mystic added. Oh, how much? 500,000. How much? He understood that Queen Mystic was also using this matter to send money to him and his team, and this broke through the suspected limit of 30,000. Does this mean Queen Mystic has made up her mind regardless of the consequences and is prepared to be kicked out of the dream? When do you plan to take action? The sooner, the better, Bernadette replied. Between 3 p.m. tomorrow and the day after. And at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, I'll go to the Star Dreams provision store to rent an item, which may also come in handy after Sasha arrives in Yangdu. Sasha would be taking the high-speed rail to Yangdu at noon the day after. Lumen hoped to rent once for 2 uses, including expelling the mirrored Roselle from the dream and dealing with the anomalies brought about by Sasha entering the city. Alright, Mystic didn't elaborate. Since Queen Jiaji and the others have all become marionettes of the Celestial Worthy, and Lu Yong, a blessed of the Great Mother, discovered the falsity. Sasa? Well, it's weird. It says Shasha here. It says Sasa here. It's weird. So that's why I moved to Sasha. People in his dreams be richer than bro. Even in Klein's own dream, he is genuinely still the brokey. He's like, has discovered the falsity of your child of God identity. He must be on guard against them, suddenly taking action against Frank, cutting off the last hope of curing Antigonus. That's right. After the events last night, whether it's a Celestial Worthy trying to eliminate the hidden dangers, the Great Mother wanting to maintain balance, Frank would become a likely target. Lumion had originally planned to find Frank late tonight and when everyone was asleep to see if the mushroom had met the requirements, and now it appeared he must go ASAP. Transferred. Crimson Moon Hospital, psychiatric ward. Lumion teleported to Frank's hospital room, putting on his sunglasses and mask. Taking advantage of the momentary absence of people in the area, Lumion knocked loudly on the door. His intuition had already told him that there was no one here. Lumion tensed up and blinked inside. It was empty. No one, no mushrooms. Lumion took out a mirror, about to use divination to find Frank, and at this point he frowned and considered and gave up on the idea. He teleported outside the ward, keeping his sunglasses and mask on, approaching the nurse's station and said, "I'm here to visit a patient. Which room is Lee KG in?" The nurse looked up and said, "You don't know?" Lee has been transferred back to Mushu Hospital, diagnosed with a mental issue. Though he doesn't have to go to jail, he no need to be confined for treatment. When? Just this morning. If you want to visit him, go there. This morning. I had returned to the real world to report. Jen and Anthony also kicked out, leaving only Franca, who was in a good state to secretly protect Lucian with Ludwig. We couldn't look after Frank after all. Moreover, last night's events were too urgent, and we had to deal with Franca's mental problems afterwards. We didn't think to notify Queen Mystic in advance. Their timing impeccable. Who came to handle the procedure? Of course, it was the patient's family members. His mother. Mother? Lumen's scalp tingled, but he pretended to find it amusing and said, "How did you confirm it was his mother?" She came with the household register. And the patient's boss also testified. Queen Jiaji was cooperating with Frank's mom to handle this? His first reaction was to quickly find a deserted corner and teleport to Mushu Hospital to see if he could get the treatment mushroom before Frank truly became a child of the mother. If the prison break failed, he would switch to assassination, eliminating the dream manifestation, leaving nothing. Just as he was about to teleport, Lumion had a new idea. He had no helpers and needed to find one. So he took out his phone, entered a ride-hailing cab, and chose a route from Crimson Moon Hospital to Mushu Hospital. During this, he walked out of the hospital and sent a message to Franca. Frank has been transferred to the Mushu Hospital. Bring Ludwig and wait outside. If necessary, have him come find me. Remember to notify Lucian. Tell her to be alert this afternoon and careful. It is best if she occasionally chats with Klein. We mustn't lose focus. We cannot lose him. Or sorry, we can't rescue Frank only to lose Lucian. Okay, Franco replied. After deleting the chat history, Lumen stood by the road waiting for the car to arrive. The car will arrive and Amon will say, "You asked for some help, motherfucker? I got you." What, you looking to steal a motherfucker? I got you. In less than 2 minutes, a white ride-hailing car stopped in front of him. LEMMiNO opened the door in the passenger door and got in. His gaze turned to the driver just in time to see him take out a crystal monocle. My go! LEMMiNO wasn't surprised at all. This said exactly what he expected and said casually, "Long time no see." "Oh, not at all. I watch you all often," Amon said. "We've probably deciphered the symbolic meanings of Pengdang, Grisha, and the others in the dream," LEMMiNO said. "Oh, let's hear it," Amon said, honking the horn. It was clear that he integrated very well to this city. LEMMiNO chose his words carefully and briefly described Madame Justice's conjecture, and Amon laughed. A spectator is not a qualified cryptologist. Though the ideas and direction are not wrong, the thinking is rather surface. Is that young lad Palez were here, it is possible that all the meanings would have been deciphered. Oh? Where did we go wrong? LEMMiNO's purpose in bringing this up was to get confirmation from Amon. Amon turned his... according to their speculation, Amon and his father... Oh, good lord, Jesus. According to his speculation, Amon and his father, for some unknown reason, no longer intended to maintain balance at the present. They wanted to weaken the Celestial Worthy and let Mr. Fool awaken early, which meant they could be considered temporary allies. Amon turned his head to look at him and said, "The spectator herself has said that it is based on identity and personality to weave images, not paths. My father, the true creator, Adam, the original God Almighty and Heaven's deputy, the left hand of God, the leader of the King of Angels, the King of Angels, the Dark Angel Sasrier. How many identities is that?" 5. So the Dark Angel amongst the 8 King of Angels was also derived from the ancient sun god? No! What? Even Sasrier was just like, oh, dude, how many people is this man? The goat. I know this. Of course, I know this. No, I know this. What are you talking about? I'm just getting hyped. Kami, let me enjoy this moment. God. I'm enjoying the moment. I'm not beating the allegations. I have the monocle, guys. No, I know the book. Looking at it this way, it's actually quite simple to decipher the corresponding meaning. The boss of the Aurora Company symbolizes the true creator, influenced by the Fool's cognition, mainly active near the headquarters of the Intis group. Pengdang and Grisha symbolize the one you hate most and the original God Almighty. But their positions are not quite fixed, they can swap at a moment's notice, symbolizing fusion and confrontation. Nijin symbolizes the Dark Angel, representing the part that split off from my father. Adam's rib is his Eve. The true creator and Adam have already achieved consciousness fusion, so they don't need to share rent anymore. They can act under different identities through Fool's cognition, but their thoughts are interconnected. Oh no, I'm wearing a hat. Okay, Hope, you don't need to call me out so hard. Hold on, please. Visionary Adam? Zhang Yuajia symbolizes your father, the ancient sun god. The corpse cathedral itself belonged to him. Zhang Yuajia wanders outside his dream city, symbolizing that my father has also left this stage already. Now his successor and the original God Almighty are confronting each other. This is also the Fool's cognition. As for the symbolic meaning of sharing rent and moving out, I needn't explain that, right? This explanation is indeed clear, but in this matter, Amon can't be fully trusted either. Why is your father's dream manifestation female? Is it because Mr. Fool's other childhood friend is indeed a lady, or in Mr. Fool's cognition, your father gave birth to you and Adam, and also split off from Sasrier, making him a successful mother. Play Deliverance when you start the next chapter. What's Deliverance? Is it because... hold on. The last guy who deciphered this aspect of the symbolism mocked him the same way. You two are indeed quite similar. Who? Lumin asked. Haven't you guessed already? Medici! Eh? He can also enter this dream? From what we can see now, apart from the true gods and those holding Mr. Fool's coins, only a few who have received special graces from the celestial worthy can enter this dream. Well, it seems other great existences can now send one or two subordinates in the illusory abyss out of the Mushu hospital, like Lu Yongon. But Medici is unlikely to cooperate with the Great Mother and the others. In the hostile incident, he just tricked these evil gods. He is a manifestation here and has received help from a top-tier Dreamweaver, so of course he can enter too. A top-tier Dreamweaver? It wasn't Adam who helped him, but the original God Almighty? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, Amon said. However, the enemy of my enemy may still be an enemy. Like you and Medici. So Medici is so quiet in this dream. What is he doing? What is he planning? Go and find him. Ask him. Peng Deng risked revealing his identity, not just to let you know who he is. Have you deciphered what he really wanted to hint? What he wanted to hint? After about 10 seconds, Amon changed the subject. The dream owner's image in the city is also split? Chief Yagit's you and Zhoming Grui? Do I look like the dream's owner? Amon sighed. You need to learn to filter out the interference of complex information and see the most fundamental. The most fundamental fact is that the Fool has never accommodated the uniqueness of the error and door pathway, while the Celestial Worthy certainly has. What? Just as Lumion vaguely grasped what Amon was hinting, just as he was about to use vague language and indirect methods to confirm, the car had stopped. We have arrived. Lumion switched to a skilled ride-hailing driver. Lumion thought for a second or two and opened the door to get out. Remember to give a good rating! Amon waved and drove away. What? Lumion was stunned. His purpose in calling the cab was to find Amon to help. But he just left! As the symbol of the uniqueness of the error path, Amon can't interfere in such matters and can only help indirectly. Lumin withdrew his gaze. Wearing sunglasses and a mask, he looked at the Mushu hospital, no longer hesitating, setting off towards the psychiatric department. As Lumin around... oh, hold on, Deliverance. I caught it! I caught it! As Lumin rounded the main building and saw the separate small building housing the psychiatric department, his phone vibrated. A message from Franca. I've arrived at the hospital, parking diagonally across the street. Good, I'm about to enter the department as well, Lumin replied. Just as he put his phone in airplane mode to avoid any unexpected disturbances, he immediately activated the contract mark on his shoulder, transforming to a shadow creature. He currently didn't know which room in the ward Lee KG was confined in, so he couldn't teleport there. He needed a search around. The shadow transformation was more discreet than hiding in the shadows. Lumin's body quickly thinned and darkened, merging with his own shadows cast by the sunlight, standing alone, frozen on the cement ground. He glided along using the shadows of corners, trees, and corridors to make his way to the psychiatric ward. Haha! The patient in the room was laughing constantly, laughing so hard that his waist bent, tears flowing from his eyes. For some reason, Lumion also felt an urge to laugh madly. He glanced at the patient, confirming it wasn't Frank, and retreated through the shadows. Just as he turned to return to the hallway, he returned to normal. Lumion didn't delay at all and entered the next room. He suddenly became irritable, wanting to burst out of the shadows and rush to the nurse's station, demanding they hand Frank over, his ears filled with shouts, "I'm not crazy!" Caution can indeed handle most situations, but not everything! When it is time to take risks, you need to take risks! LEMMiNO roughly determined who the patient was and silently retreated to the hallway. He glided through the shadows by various objects, moving to another room. As he entered, what entered his field of vision was a patient locked onto a bed, as quiet as a statue. A feeling of sadness and grief welling up in his heart. He wanted to go mad, to harm himself. But he maintained his rationality and left the room. After regaining his composure in the hallway, LEMMiNO pondered his recent encounters. As soon as I enter the room, I get infected by the corresponding patient. Illness has become contagious, similar to the manifestations of that humanoid artifact. I understand, this place is a dream, and the mental patients have symbolism. They symbolize the negative, crazy, irrational emotions and mental states of this dream subconscious. And the interactions within the dreams are essentially spiritual interactions. Why are the doctors and nurses still normal, though? Do they symbolize the dream's subconscious power to suppress madness and extremes? From this, the thoughts that suppress crazy mentalities and extreme emotions can also be infected, which is reflected in the dream as doctors or nurses go mad. The doctors and nurses here, the medicine and medical equipment here can all be used to deal with the dream's own crazy mentality and extreme emotions, symbolizing the corresponding forces. He turned his gaze to a nearby treatment cart, looking at the syringes and medicines. He felt in a special scenario these things may be more useful and effective than treatment drugs he and the others carried. They were part of the dream's power. Having understood the circumstances of the psychiatric ward, LEMMiNO maintained his shadow creature state and moved even faster, just glancing at each room to avoid being affected by the emotions of each patient. However, he didn't find Frank or find any mushrooms. Not here. LEMMiNO left this place and came to the iron gates of a corner and re-entered under the pretext of visiting a patient. Wearing sunglasses and a mask, he said to the nurse on duty, "I'm here to visit Lee KG. Wait a bit longer. The patient was sent here for treatment and hasn't returned to his room yet." Where was he sent for treatment? B1 of the main building. They have rather large equipment there. B1. On his way to the main building, he messaged Franca, "Lee KG has been sent to B1. I'm going. If I haven't sent you a message within 15 minutes, have Ludwig come find me." If all else fails, the corpse wax candle can be used again, and Chief Yagate's honorific name can be called upon. LEMMiNO explained in such detail to Franca that he still had a way out, to prevent her from risking herself to save him. "Prioritize your own safety," Franca replied. And LEMMiNO switched his phone back to airplane mode, transforming into a shadow creature. The fact that he turned his phone to airplane mode and has never done so before tells me this is somehow going to be important. Like midway through, he's going to get a call, even though his phone is on airplane mode. And it's going to be like Amon or the Celestial Worthy or Klein, because they can use the error and be like, "Hey, homie, what you up to?" At this moment, the glass doors were half open with a wheelchair placed at the entrance. A person sat in the wheelchair, their entire body wrapped in bandages like a living mummy. LEMMiNO suddenly had a sense of familiarity. Yo, can you imagine? You check your phone, it's on airplane mode, you're getting a call all the same, and you're like, what the fuck? You look at it, and it says, "The original creator." It says female body inspector. Hey there. Weird. His spiritual intuition told him that the person in the wheelchair was his colleague, Old Ding, who had been injured during the lightning strike at work. How did Old Ding end up here? Where's his family members? The next second, he saw Old Ding struggling to extend his hand, reaching towards a white paper pasted on the half-glass open door. Several words written on the paper: "Medical area, no entry to unauthorized personnel." LEMMiNO withdrew his gaze, not interrupting. As he glided along the shadows on the side of the corridor towards the suspected patient, LEMMiNO became uneasy. looking down and finding that at some point he had separated from the shadows and returned human. The contract ability had become ineffective. Lumion also noticed the clothes on his body were changing, transforming into standard attire of a hospital orderly. What? Lumion associated this with a mummy, old ding at the entrance, and that notice thought of the illusory abyss underground and the characteristics of the Mother Tree of Desire pathway. There was a strong curse in this area. A curse. No entry to unauthorized personnel. In other words, unauthorized personnel who will enter here will become authorized, becoming orderlies who frequently enter and exit this place, becoming puppets of the abyss. Lumion naturally understood how to break the curse, but didn't dare do so. His method of breaking the curse was to shout, "Mother, I am your child!" The essence of a statement to acknowledge himself as a true child of God. And B1 of the hospital clearly contained the power and influence of the Great Mother. Under these premises, the child of God certainly would be considered unauthorized. Lumion felt the abnormal changes in his body accelerating. In the moment, he couldn't think of any other way and had no choice but to activate the mark on his shoulder and teleport away. He appeared on the emergency stairwell on the first floor. Fortunately, I can teleport out of B1, but I have to use a corpse wax candle. Or call Madam Magician or Chief Yagates. No, at the speed of the changes, the ritual wouldn't have time to take effect. Lumion looked down and saw his clothes had returned to normal. He transformed back into a shadow creature and came to the entrance of the emergency stairwell, observing the up and down movements of the elevator while pondering how to penetrate the basement level 1 and rescue Frank without becoming a child of God. As his thoughts swirled, Lumion saw a special elevator come up from B1 and an orderly pushed out of the bed. Or push out of bed. A nurse stood on each side of the bed, and lying on it was a man, Lee KG. The treatment has ended? I was too late? He watched Frank being pushed out of the elevator hall, following in the shadows of all the way out of the main building and back to the psychiatric department. Just finished the volume is crazy. Well, I hope by that I assume that he means that he hasn't fully accommodated them. Like they're part of him. They just haven't been. I don't know how to explain it correctly, but like. How would I explain this? Like they're part of him, but they don't have the corresponding positions that they should. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. Because otherwise he can't be a great old one, right? He can't be fighting with the Celestial Worthy if he doesn't even have those. Now, Lee KG has completed the treatment and returned to his room. I plan to sneak in to confirm the situation. If it's unsalvageable, I'll execute the cleanup plan. Don't say holy LARP. If the cleanup is too hold on. I think he's very effective against food-type enemies, like mushrooms. It just means he can wield them? It just means he can wield them. That's interesting. So you're saying like he has possession of them, or like, or like Plagues or like Hope said, he's stashed them somewhere, but then is able to siphon their power off as needed. But then at that point he still wouldn't be a great old one, no? He wouldn't even be a half great old one at that point, because he needs both of the uniquenesses. All three of them. Without being accumulated, we would have lost Klein on the spot. Hope, because maybe I'm wrong, but the way I thought of accommodating a uniqueness... Talk in the beginning of Volume 8? The Fool's Mask, just not the other two? Damn. Okay. Hope. I've forgotten stuff, okay? I'll be honest with you. Fine. I've forgotten a couple things here or there. Listen, Hope, you can call me LARPer all you want, okay? Who said he was a great old one? He got the other two while having Excelsior Worthy Awaken. He couldn't bother accommodating them. Means it becomes part of you, like an extra limb? I guess if it's that, then there's no way around it, I guess. Okay. Alright. Oh, okay. Hey there, that makes sense. I guess he can use them without backlash because of a sheer level. Okay. That's fair. There may be a battle upcoming, so Lumin needed to protect his phone, so he put it in the traveler bag. Soon after, Lumin in a shadow creature state. See? They're being so deliberate about the phone, it's so weird. Soon after, Lumin in a shadow creature state slipped through the door crack of Frank's room and rose up in front of him. He looked up, gazed at the still sleeping Frank, and began to assess his condition. Suddenly, Frank sat up. Showing a genuine smile, he saw, "Lumin, I've discovered the essence! I've succeeded!" Lumin's expression changed. He saw Frank's chest swell up, 2 mushrooms raising the hospital gown. Milk overflowing, while in Frank's abdomen, mushrooms that seemed to be formed from flesh and blood writhed and tore through the opening, as if creating a blood-colored, real uterus. Frank, you're a real one. I'm sorry we have to do this to you. Die. Lumin looked at Frank and asked, "What is the essence? What has succeeded?" Frank, with his thick beard, dressed in a blue and white striped hospital gown, spread his arms and said, "The essence is that only the mother can bring new life, and only new life can cure your friend." As Frank finished speaking, a sword slashed through him in the air, the surface of the sword burning with flames, which twisted into a black flame that suppressed madness and brutality. After hearing the first part of Frank's response, Lumin had already taken out the Sword of Courage. He swung the sword at Frank, whose chest was swollen with mushrooms and whose abdomen was entangled by flesh and blood mushrooms forming a uterus. Only this fire could truly kill the Mushroom King Frank, who possessed both the unique cognition of Mr. Fool and the power of the Great Mother. Just as the black flames of destruction was about to strike Frank, the patient room vanished, and in its place appeared a wild, grassy plain, and Frank had disappeared. The fire of destruction fell upon the wilderness of the Paramita, scorching a long trench. Within the trench, no grass grew. Next, Lumin saw the soil in the distance loosen as mushrooms covered in dark red veins shot up from the ground like a massive tree. Each of its mycelia as thick as a branch, white with blood-red spots. Its cap was Frank's enlarged, bearded head. On its chest, tumor-like growths oozing a milky liquid, its abdomen covered in a translucent membrane, and beneath, the flesh mushrooms interred, seemingly nurturing a jellyfish-like mushroom. seeing the small, dense mushrooms appear on Lumien's skin as if he had been corrupted. At the same time, he felt his life force flowing uncontrollably towards the giant mushroom and noticed the grass greens across the wilderness was all bending towards Lee KG. Lee KG, serving as the mushroom cap, spoke fervently and sincerely. If you wish for new life, the current amount of life isn't enough. Give me all your lives. By now, Lumien's eyes had taken on a dark hue, and he found a pale white mark that represented the weakness on the mushroom. He teleported to Frank, thrusting the sword of courage engulfed in flames into the giant mushroom's abdomen. Several branch-like mycelia wrapped around, forming a dense net of vines that blocked the dark sword's path. They were intensely set ablaze, instantly turning to ash. The giant mushroom shuddered, cutting off the burning mycelia from its body. The mycelia fell to the ground, failing to affect the mushroom. Lumien followed through the downward slash of the sword of courage. They produced clusters of burning flesh, which exploded. The violent shockwaves mixed with the destructive flames surged in all directions, engulfing both the mushroom that was Frank and Lumien's own body. Lumien activated the mark on his shoulder, teleporting out of the explosion's range just in time. In the next second, he saw the giant mushroom ignite, swaying under the force of the shockwave. Before Lumien could launch an attack, the mushroom shed all the parts engulfed by the fire of destruction, as if shedding its own skin, discarding them before they could reach the cap or affect the abdomen and the child inside. In an instant, a vast amount of ash floated in the air, and the giant mushroom's deeper layer exposed, pulsing, with sinews, flesh, and dark vines wriggling like worms. All of these parts writhing and regenerating. Frank's head showed no hostility and said to Lumien happily, "See, this is the final product. Join us and you too shall gain new life." As Frank finished speaking, Lumien had already pulled out a mirror reflecting the mushroom that had shed its mycelia. He then pressed his hands onto the mirror and wiped a demoness's curse. The mushroom jerked violently, causing all of its flesh and liquid to shrink, wrapping in its body and Frank's head, serving as the cap, into a bloody sphere. On the surface of the sphere, clusters of mushrooms sprouted, and at that moment, black flames erupted from within, engulfing the entire sphere. One by one, the smaller mushrooms fell silent and the layers of flesh carbonized. Then bloody mass writhed intensely, and one side suddenly split open, spitting out a new mushroom. This new mushroom was nearly identical to the previous giant mushroom. With Frank's head serving as the cap, branch-like mycelia hung down and tumors bulging, oozing milk, its abdomen covered by a membrane, nurturing new life. The only difference was that it was slightly smaller, as if it shrunk. Covered in a greasy, gray-black afterbirth, the new mushroom shot out from the mother's body, swiftly escaping the fire of destruction. New life. Frank had used new life to sever the connection between the demoness's curse and himself just in time. Is there a way to escape the curse? As Lumien's life continued to rapidly drain, his mind tensed and his gaze followed the flying, spore-scattering mushrooms. His eyes turned a silvery white. He intended to use the Eye of Calamity to search for the black thread of fate that bound Frank, hoping to destroy this new life and kill this monster. Just as the mercury-colored river of fate composed of countless symbols appeared in Lumien's vision, he felt an itch on his skin. Instinctively, he lowered his head and saw that bumps on his skin had grown as if to blossom mushrooms. He had been corrupted by observing Frank's river of fate. Instantly, sinister and silent flames ignited on Lumien's body, consuming the burgeoning mushrooms. Enduring the pain, Lumien teleported to the edge of the pyramida. He wanted to see if he could lure Frank to the police station and use the official forces and the power of the dream's consciousness to eliminate him. The pyramida did not stop Lumien, allowing him to pass through. What greeted Lumien was not the patient room of the psychiatric department, but a spacious, dimly lit room with half-drawn curtains, a desk, bookshelves, and a sofa set. From the corner of his eye, he saw the door was half open with a conspicuous nameplate embedded, with the script, Dean's Office. Lumen tensed even more and turned his gaze to the area behind the desk. There was a leather executive chair. Leaning against it was a figure. This figure wore a white doctor's coat, had sparse eyebrows, bright brown eyes filled with a smile, and chestnut hair tied into a bun. Her features alluring and clean, exuding an elegant air, cradling a chubby baby. Lumen knew this person. Madame Polly de Roquefort. As Lumen's thoughts raced, he didn't teleport away and smiled at Madame Polly. So, you are the new dean. What a pleasant surprise. As he spoke, Lumen recalled that the matriarch Roland of the Church of the Earth Mother, an angel of the Mother Pathway, was only the associate dean of the hospital, yet Madame Polly is able to be dean. What does this signify? Is she this powerful or a mere proxy of the Great Mother? Madame Polly looked at Lumen and smiled. I am equally delighted to find you here, and now you have a part of Aurora with you. What a joy! I've recently learned a phrase about life's joys. Reuniting with an old friend in a faraway place and celebrating your wedding night by candlelight. Our situation fits the first, wouldn't you say? Why don't you take off your sunglasses and mask so I can get a good look at you? And then we can enjoy your wedding night and bring Aurora to the world. Do all of you believers talk about children as soon as you meet? Lumen didn't get upset or angry. Some things couldn't be stopped, so it was best to stay calm. Like when the secret ceremony had brought dangerous powers leading to the mutation of Elista Tudor's aura and the transformation of the souls in Cordu into soldiers sealed within. Following Madame Polly's suggestion, Lumen took off his sunglasses and mask, revealing a bright smile. If I don't show you my face, how can I charm her? And without charm, how would I create an opportunity to escape? As he kept an eye on the mushroom monster that Frank had become, Lumen's gaze had shifted to the angelic baby in Madame Polly's arms. Is she your child? Yes. What's her name? With a serene smile, Madame Polly replied, Ami Bella. Oh, fuck. She's called Ami Bella? The mysterious baby Madame Polly had been carrying had been named Ami Bella. That empty crib belonged to Ami Bella. At this moment, Lumen felt as if he'd been struck by lightning. Previously, Madame Magician had joked that as long as the dean of the hospital wasn't named Ami Bella, it wouldn't be a problem. At the time, Lumen thought it was just a horror story, and even if the dean really was called Ami Bella, it wouldn't be his biggest concern. But hearing the child Madame Polly had been carrying was named Ami Bella truly sent a shiver down his spine. If it were just Madame Polly becoming the dean of the hospital, or her just giving birth to a mysterious child, Lumen wouldn't have been so shocked. These would have been unexpected, but not unreasonable. But the baby was named Ami Bella. The mysterious child Polly had been carrying and given birth to in Cordu was named Ami Bella. Zero dialogue, 7 billion plot points, genuinely. Had all of this been foreshadowed in the disaster in Cordu, rather than beginning only when he ate Ami Bella's remains? Lumen suddenly felt as if he had As if he was back in a scene from his vagrant life, and at the time he had huddled in a corner watching from his large, slippery, ferocious snake slowly slithering past him, not daring to move a muscle. Now he felt that cold, slippery sensation all over him again. If the baby gave birth in Cordoon, it was Ami Bella. But who was the father in Father Monty's belly? Who did I kill? Where did the umbilical cord's remains I ate came from? Why could they help me contact the remains of the earliest Ami Bella? Why could they make the mother's children, whom lacked wisdom, mistake me for her? In the depths of the underworld, why did that egg, nurtured by the ancient gods' remains, point to? Why could I hear it call Ami Bella? Moreover, why do the followers of the Great Mother want to induce me to become the child of God, to become Ami Bella? Hadn't she already been born? What's happening? Who's real? Who's fake? Are they all real? Are they all fake? Oh. So who's the father? Lumion asked, maintaining a calm demeanor. If I said it was you or Aurora, would you believe me? Stop with the hellish jokes. We never touched you. Yes, I too regret that. I hope we'll have a chance to make up for it, Madame Polly sighed. Her mother is me, and also the Great Mother as for the father. On the surface it is the Padre. But there is someone else. It was Adam all along. Of course. Adam was... Oh, I see it. It was Adam all along. Just as Lumion is about to start eliminating the villagers of Cordu one by one, heavy footsteps sounded behind him. Adam was dipping in the moon. He half turned and saw the giant mushroom with Frank's head as its cap appear. And at this moment, the smile on Polly's face faded, and she said, "Come, the child needs you." As she finished speaking, the baby began to cry. Hearing this cry, Lumion involuntarily walked Polly towards the baby, like the two mutually attracted magnets. Madame Polly wants to do something with my body which possesses Ami Bella's bloodline. After last night's events, the moon was giving, Chris. There's one person we know who's given birth twice, and it ain't the Great Mother, okay? After last night's events, Dude, honestly, I might be cooking. Am I cooking a little bit? Lee KG was quickly transferred to Mushu Hospital for treatment, only because the Celestial Worthy wanted to eliminate this hidden danger and the Great Mother attempted to balance the situation, but also because Madame Polly attracted me here. She's canonically the most beautiful being in the universe? We're not talking about the primordial demoness here, Aaron. I don't know. What don't I know? Demonesses aren't beautiful? What? What? I refused to seek help from the Great Mother last night to become the true child of God. So the Great Mother and the Celestial Worthy reached an agreement? Lumion didn't hesitate and activated the mark on his shoulder, trying to teleport away. He disappeared from the Dean's office, but didn't appear at the entrance of the police hospital. He arrived in the wilderness again. In the depths of the wilderness stood a gigantic green oak tree that seemed to connect to the heaven and the earth. The top of the oak tree appeared to lead to heaven, disappearing into layers of white clouds. Lumin saw that the surface of the enormous oak tree that seemed to hold up the sky was marked with scorch marks from lightning strikes, its bark mottled, concealing vitality. His gaze followed the complex charm formed by the mottled bark, instinctively moving upwards near the top of the tree crown. He saw a newly grown branch. He had grown tenaciously from a charred spot caused by lightning strikes entwined by lush, vibrant mistletoe. At this moment, this new branch with its mistletoe was grasped by a chubby baby, belonging to baby Amibella. She wore a floral crown and was dressed in a fresh green dress. Madame Polly, whose lower body transformed into a giant bird and whose back sprouted wings, held her in her arms. "Come, the child needs you," Polly's voice echoed in the wilderness. And the mushroom that Frank had become also appeared at the edge of the wilderness. Lumin tried to teleport away, but to no avail. He immediately threw out a mirror, trying to enter the world behind it to see if he could use the mirror world to escape. In the next second, the glass surface of the mirror seemed to come alive, softening and writhing and forming a mouth, leading to the depths. Lumin made a quick decision, abandoning the attempt to penetrate the glass surface, letting the mirror fall on its own. The mirror shattered into many pieces, each mercury-coated glass shard crawling away. Lumin snorted, and quiet, black flames surged from within. Outside the black flames, thick frost condensed as if to create a coffin for slumber. The invisible spider silk that had already spread throughout the surrounding area retracted, wrapping around the frost layer. This was the demoness's strongest defense mechanism, capable of dispelling curses and negative influences. Lumin's plan was to use the ability to buy time, to actively exit the dream or light the corpse candle to complete a secret deed ritual. However, before the spider cocoon could form, the demoness's flames seemed to take on a life of their own, burning Lumin's spirituality. The ice layer that was supposed to defend also began to restrict Lumin's movements. They had come alive. Lumin teleported. He moved to the edge of the wilderness, far from the mushroom man, escaping the influence of the demoness's flames and frost. Although he couldn't teleport out, he could still blink around. "Come, the child needs you," Polly's voice seemed to echo. No good. In this battlefield with a pyramid in front of the baby Amibella, though all are suppressed to a sequence 7, I am restrained. I can't hold out. Should I recite a madding magician's name? Leodero? No, I only have one chance to recite the honorific name, and Leodero may not be able to break through the Paramida's seal. Leodero broke through Cipher Castle, and you think the Paramida is where it can't do it? Bro, okay. If we're going down, let's go big. Everyone perish together. Lumin reached into the traveler bag and grasped the special mirror fragment. He then initiated teleport again, using this to resist the invisible pull of Amibella on him. "Bye, Jamo! My go!" After blinking to the next position, Lumin uttered, "The great door of all doors." Lumin was about to recite the honorific name of Chief Yagates, Mr. Door, representing the power of the dream's subconscious, maintaining order. Though this word resulted in Lumin being permanently kicked out of the dream, Madame Polly, Frank Lee, and the baby Amibella, every single one of them wouldn't be able to continue staying here, equivalent to eliminating dangers for his team. As for what comes after, Lumin trusted in his friends. "Guide of the endless cosmos," Lumin finished one sentence after disappearing. Seeing this, Polly opened her mouth, about to unleash a banshee screech. At this moment, a male version of Lumin appeared in the wilderness, a shallow mirror image created by the mirror world fragment, quite weak. He spread out his arms and shouted, "Leodero!" This voice burst out almost simultaneously with the banshee's shriek, and the shallow mirror image shattered under the influence of the sound waves. In the darkness, dense clouds gathered, and the countless silvery white electric snakes jumped out to form a huge bolt of lightning, striking towards that giant oak tree. The number of small electric snakes crawled over the surface of the tree, creating patches of charred marks, yet it didn't die, regenerating. This effect temporarily paralyzed Madame Polly and Ami Bella. Crack, the mere substitution Lumion, which shattered under the Banshee's creak, and the overflow of lightning appeared not far from Frank, reciting, "The key to all mysterious worlds." As Lumion recited the third name, the dark clouds and the lightning in the sky collapsed towards the center, forming a huge vortex, swirling as if a giant with a sword had its face had opened a single eye. This vortex expanded as if it would tear apart the heavens and the earth. Seeing this, Polly, who had just broken free from her paralyzed state, suddenly frowned, holding the baby. She shrank into the interior of the giant green oak that seemed to hold up the sky, disappearing from Lumion's sight. Lumion then saw the mushroom monster with Frank's head as its cap standing rigidly in place as if it had been restrained. "Let's go! Get fucking restrained, idiot!" Lumion then saw the mushroom. Immediately after, the mushroom monster began to disintegrate from its abdomen like a vase smashed to the ground. These pieces continued to break apart, and in just a few seconds, they became a pile of particles barely visible to the naked eye. The disintegration rapidly spread to different parts of the mushroom monster, finally reaching Frank's head. The head quickly became part as if pieced together from fragments, but Frank's face showed no signs of hatred or resent. His expression twisted from pain, but his eyes unusually sincere. He struggled to say to Lumion, "I succeeded. Join us. Let us be reborn together." As he finished speaking, Frank's head shattered even more severely. Almost simultaneously, Lumion found the giant oak tree had suffered a similar fate. But after disintegrating, Polly and the baby had not appeared in the tree's core. They were hidden somewhere, or perhaps had left the dream. So powerful. Is this the power of the dream's consciousness maintaining order? Lumion activated the mark on his shoulder, trying to escape the collapse of the pyramida. Though he had prepared to be kicked out of the dream, he hadn't been sentenced to death yet, had he? He must struggle a bit, but if he had succeeded? Lumion's figure disappeared from the spot. The place he had chosen was Yangdu Prison. "Yes, I've committed a crime. Lock me up, but don't exile me." In the next moment, Lumion appeared in a spacious office, seeing a middle-aged man wearing a clean shirt and a black patterned police rank on his shoulder. Clearly the chief of the police department. Uniqueness of the door pathway, Gates. My teleportation was changed here? Who are you? And what do you intend to do in Yangdu? Along with the chief's questioning, Lumion felt a strong rejection from the dream world and his own marinetization. He understood well that if he left the city like this, he would never return. Lumion's thoughts raced as he made a final struggle. The most fundamental fact is that the fool is never accomplished. He recalled a hint Amon had given him on his way to the hospital. The most fundamental fact is the fool has never accommodated the uniqueness of the air and door pathway, while the celestial worthy has. This didn't mention that Mr. Door had long accommodated the uniqueness of the pathway and Amon had briefly done so. So the chief's essence is the product of the dream's subconscious recognition of Mr. Door's imprint, and the celestial worthy's imprint and a bit of Amon's, combined to symbolize the uniqueness of the door pathway. Chief Yagates, only the dream consciousness is a bit of Mr. Fool. To avoid being kicked out, or not being kicked out completely, I can only find a way to struggle or simulate Mr. Door's imprint. Lumion had an inspiration in a very short time and recalled Madam Magician's door to Mr. Door. Madam Magician's introduction to Mr. Door. Before his thoughts stalled completely, before the dream's rejection, Lumion blurted out, "I am an ally of the Abraham family." Suddenly, Lumion felt the air around him solidify, and at the same time, he noticed the chief's almost black eyes show a hint of confusion and contemplation. His brows furrowed as if trying to remember something. The magnetization had slowed, and the rejection did the same, as expected. Yagates embodies the conflict between Mr. Door's imprint and the celestial worthies. Just now, I was thinking that even if I was kicked out of the dream was unavoidable, I should tell the chief about Mr. Door indirectly, with the idea of mutual destruction, simulating the corresponding imprint to make it more active. My guide is a student of a member of the Abraham family, and now she is protecting the entire Abraham family, he said. The chief grew even more confused, but his face no longer stern. Lumion examined himself and found the dream's rejection still existed, but had weakened even more. It's working. I just need to increase the intensity. Lumion followed his spiritual intuition and said, I am a hunter and a demoness, and I have a trace of Alista Tudor's aura on me. Alista Tudor? The chief muttered, repeating the name as if it were both familiar and unfamiliar. Feeling the dream still rejecting him, Lumion said, I've also been corrupted by the Crimson Moon, but the situation is under control. He knew that Mr. Door had once encountered the same corruption. Earlier, he couldn't have directly stated that it was corruption of the Great Mother. After all, it was a desperate struggle, what couldn't be said. But now, seeing the hope of not being completely kicked out, he dared not speak too plainly, fearing it would stimulate Mr. Door, but also the Celestial Worthy. In a popular saying in the Dream City, this would be like, he who is down need no fear to fall. You also just could be like, I saw your portrait, you're fit as hard as fuck, and Mr. O's gonna go, oh, yes of course, I am back. Previously, Lumion was down and had nothing to lose, but now the change in the situation had put him back on his feet, giving him something to be cautious of. The chief gazed at Lumion, seemingly reevaluating this wanted criminal. I sent his portrait in the Discord as you say this. But the Dreamscape rejecting didn't weaken any further. Lumion endured and thought for another connection between him and Mr. Door, and said, Amon once guided me. He said this not only because Mr. Door and Amon were both Grand Dukes of the Tudor Empire, but also with the hidden intention of stimulating that bit of Amon's spiritual imprint within the chief. Amon. The chief raised his hand and pinched his chin. Amon. Lumion saw his reaction, but didn't feel the dream rejecting, and magnetization continued to weaken. Not enough! Lumion shouted one more before he could no longer resist that force. I came to Yangdu to fight against those destroyers, to fight against the apostles of the evil god, to prevent the evil gods from invading. As he finished speaking, Lumen felt the rejection suddenly weaken, and the chief looked at Lumen and nodded. I sensed that you were not lying. Breaking the law must be punished, but if there are reasons, and it is pitiable, the punishment may be reduced. Seeing this, Lumen breathed a sigh of relief. His interpretation of this was that he would be imprisoned, but not for life, or sentenced to death. I accept. Lumen didn't argue any further. Can I notify my family? You may. The chief didn't refuse this request. Lumen quickly took out his phone in front of the chief and sent a voice-to-text message to Franco. I'm fine, but I may be locked up for a while. Ask Miss Wing for help to find a lawyer, see if they can get me out on bail. The mushroom monster has been eliminated, but Frank said he ultimately succeeded. Wait for Jenna to return and have her take Lilu to tour the wards of the Crimson Moon Hospital and Mushu Hospital where Frank was hospitalized. See if they find anything. Also, pay attention to whether Mushu Hospital has changed its theme. Lumen waited for 10 seconds before receiving a brief reply. Okay. Lumen immediately used the information shredder to delete the chat history and then put his phone in the traveler bag and said, I am ready. Only then did the chief pick up his phone and dial a number and said, Dang, get over here. As he spoke, Lumen felt the dream's rejection force become strong again. He no longer resisted, following this force to exit the dream. Trier, inside a luxurious villa. Lumen opened his eyes in bed for the second time in one day. After examining his state, his first reaction was to try to enter the dream city again. And the next second he felt he wasn't blocked, so he stopped his behavior, planning to wait 24 hours before trying again. From a timing perspective, this wouldn't affect Queen Mystic's plan to banish the Mirror Griselle. Lumen exhaled, got out of bed, and walked out of the room. In the living room downstairs, Madame Justice was serving Madame Magician, Madame Judgment, and Jenna and Anthony the most authentic afternoon tea. This was also to soothe the minds and spirits of the two minor arcana, helping them relax and feel the reality of the present moment. Why have you left the dream again? Jenna looked at Lumen. I got kicked out. Compared to being kicked out completely, being able to enter the dream again was indeed something to be happy of. Because of Frank? Madame Magician asked. Yes. Lumen recounted his agreement with Queen Mystic, Frank's transfer and tragic treatment, and what Amon had said. Madame Justice said, I'm not really an expert at all this. Bye, Max. That's normal, Madame Magician said. Mr. Palaz's interpretation will arrive soon and we can compare it with Amon's. Ah, the child is going to chime in, the little boy. Lumen went on to describe Frank's transformation, Polly's appearance as the new dean of the hospital, and the appearance of Ami Bella. Using Ty's word? Madame Magician asked, both surprised and amused to hear why Lumen wasn't permanently kicked out. If she had known this, she may have been able to obtain a better outcome herself. Madame Justice glanced at Madame Magician, reading her true thoughts. In her view, this reflected a difference in personality. Being permanently kicked out of the dream wouldn't result in death, and would still allow one to follow the guidance of fate to give away the lucky coin, find a new helper, or continue exploring or experimenting. Therefore, Madame Magician couldn't have had the mindset of being on the brink of perishing and struggling desperately, so she more easily accepted the outcome. Lumen was different. He had experienced being a tramp, and in such a life, every bit of resource and every opportunity was important, so he wasn't used to giving up and would struggle to the end. It works, Lumen recalled. The chief had the strongest reaction to things related to Abraham family and protecting the Dream City from the invasion of the evil gods. His feedback on these was most positive. The names of Elisa Tudor and Amon did something, giving him a sense of familiarity, but he didn't have an obvious reaction to the Great Mother's corruption related to the Abraham family, protecting the Dream City. The magician sighed, and Madame Judgment then said, after experiencing Amon's deification, the Great Mother's corruption probably doesn't have much manifestation in the chief anymore. And only you could elicit certain reactions from the chief through the names of Elisa Tudor and Amon. Only someone like him, carrying the aura of at least a tutor on a Mon's boon, could say such words with credibility and bring about genuine stimulation. Let's hope the things you mentioned can make Mr. Door's imprint more active and maintain it for a while. This would be helpful for probing an experiment. She felt that the lucky coin ending up in LEMMiNO after all its twists and turns was indeed the guidance of fate. Mods, shoot hope. To the lashing post with him. At this moment, Jenna, more concerned about another matter. What's the deal with that baby Bella that Polly was holding? What impact would this have on LEMMiNO? When I arrived in Cordu, the crib was empty. All I know is that the child of God had already been reborn in the spirit world. The initial root of all this was indeed Madame Polly lost the child. So I got done cardio, I'm in so much pain. Why? Last year in Trier, Madame Polly said the child had died long ago, killed by her father, the padre who didn't know it was his child. This time, she said again that the child's father was ostensibly the padre, but someone else. Who could it be? Perhaps at the time, Bella had to die because she... I don't know how it makes any sense, but I'm thinking the idea that it's actually Amon's baby is hilarious. Imagine. Imagine. No, did I say Amon? I'm sorry, I meant Adam. Imagine maybe the previous God Almighty says, you know what? It's been a while since I've made some strange. Let's do this. You have a guess for her real father? Madam Magician looked at Madam Justice looked at Madam Magician. What kind of guess could make Madam Magician's expression change so weirdly? It's just a guess, I can't guarantee it. Who? Magician looked up and said, the eternal blazing sun. You think the guy who's like, ew, corruption, yucky, ew, no, is gonna be like, great mother, yo, she's got the heavies though. No, you silly bitch. Forrest, God, you're so stupid. I'm telling. Listen, I don't know why. I don't know what the logic is. But either Adam or the old God Almighty being like, yo, hear me out. Listen. Imagine what our child could do, though. Imagine. Hear me out. There's a chance, though, right? There's a chance he goes. His church is full of weirdos. His church. It's always the squeaky clean people that are the dirtiest, most corrupt. But what if a guy's just squeaky clean, you know? What? Everyone was stunned. EBS? LEMMiNO looked at Madam Magician with only one thought in his mind. How? Guillaume Benet was the padre of the EBS church, essentially the representative of EBS in this parish. Any problem with the statement? No. This was basic knowledge. You saw Madame Polly and the padre having an affair. Yes. Having an affair and conceiving a child in the cathedral near the altar with the representative of the EBS could indeed point to the EBS as the child's father. But the premise is that the EBS himself agreed or acquiesced, which is impossible, right? The EBS certainly didn't agree or acquiesce at the time and may not even have known of it. This is also one of the reasons why that baby had to go after being born in the village. The symbolism hadn't yet been established. But do you remember what happened afterwards? The EBS pretending to cooperate with the Great Mother, letting Lady Moon conceive a child of God. Later, the birth and the advent of that child helped Medici kill Vermonda and become a king of angel. Not long after that child of God was sacrificed, Madame Polly disappeared, unaffected by the cleanup. These events, when viewed separately, don't seem problematic, but when connected, they point at something. The EBS used the Great Mother to make Medici's plot succeed, but also used by the Great Earth by the Great Mother. What the Great Mother wanted from the beginning wasn't the baby in Lady Moon, but the act of EBS making Lady Moon conceive a child. The symbolism. Once that child had passed, and the long-deceased baby Ami Bella, who had the basic symbolism, inherited the relationship and gained new life, and helped Madame Polly escape the subsequent cleanup. But if it's pointing to EBS, it could also point to the God Almighty. Dude, I might genuinely be cooking somehow. We keep talking about the old God Almighty. I thought that that motherfucker was dead. But now if we're bringing this motherfucker back, maybe he's saying, bring me back. Bring me back in reality. He said, I just need a body. And who better to have a body than from another great old one? For me to resurrect in that body, then I'm going to help you out once I got all my shit back. But in the meantime, I'm going to run me my fate with this Adam bum bitch motherfucker. Adam gets his own Klein sleeping arc. Book 3 was Adam going to bed and Amon trying to wake up Adam. That was originally the plot for book 3, but Cuttlefish actually just said, damn. Primordial dog almighty, imagine. And I don't mean D-O-G as in Susie. I mean he got that dog in him. After a while, Madam Judgment broke the silence. We must report this to the church. This was to let the clergy of the EBS church know of the scandal, but to remind the true God EBS to pay attention to the issues. Almighty dog, truly. But how should we explain this to the clergy of the EBS church? With their fanaticism and purity, I'm afraid they may purge me on the spot, Madam Magician said. Yeah, we can't exactly just tell them that their god was seduced by an evil god now, can we? Just say that Polly had appeared again with a child between reality and illusion named Ami Bella, and that Ami Bella's father is ostensibly the Guillaume Benet, the padre of Cordoue village, but actually someone else, Justice said, choosing her words rather carefully. Then mentioned the baby had already died in Cordoue, but with Medici's intel, it wouldn't be hard to make the relevant associations and come to similar conclusions. Okay, Magician nodded. I realized that all those who try to use the Great Mother end up being used by her. Revive. Both primordial God Almighty and Celestial Worthy can revive in their vessels. Who's Celestial Worthy's vessel? Klein? Are you saying Klein or someone else? You are saying Klein, right? No, because I was making the impression that because I thought he was saying. Okay, hold on. I was saying the primordial God Almighty was making a new vessel with the Mother Goddess of Depravity. I was thinking Uth was saying Celestial Worthy was doing something similar. I thought he was saying like Celestial Worthy's just like all the pillars got together one night and they said, you know what we gotta do. They said, bro, 3 of us, only 1 of us still got it down, okay? We need her help. Hearing Magician sigh, everyone turned their gaze to LEMMiNO. Well, it's not the Great Mother using us. When the time comes, let them decide the victor first. That was his usual attitude towards issues that couldn't be immediately resolved but weren't life-threatening. But we should be vigilant and try to stay away from her believers, Madame Judgment said. Sometimes it's not a matter of whether I want to avoid them or not. His intuition had told him that even if he didn't return to the hospital, even if Polly and the baby were forced to leave the dream due to Chief Yagate, he would encounter them again in the real world soon. This seemed to be a predetermined fate ever since he ate the remnants of Amibella and came into contact with that bird egg in the depths of the underworld, and the sealed artifact, a gift of the land. In the Dream City, at the entrance of the police department, 2 imposing lawyers had secured bail for the pitiful LEMMiNO. One of the floors of the police department main building, Deng stood behind a window watching LEMMiNO bow and get into a car as he frowned. Chief, why didn't we refuse her bail request? The chief looked and smiled. I wanted to. She really didn't kill Zaratul. There's both witnesses and physical evidence. At the time, she and that child were still in the face changer's line of sight. As for her possible accomplices, haven't you already tried? Couldn't get anything out of her. She seemed to have truly lost her memory, with no memories even in her subconscious. After this, starting from her social relationships and conduct a thorough investigation. Yes, Chief. Yagate's thought and said, secretly list Mushu Hospital as a key target as well. Why? Deng asked. After Frank was transferred back to the hospital, he turned to a monster. I cleaned it up. His transformation into a monster is related to the new dean at that hospital. Before long, the hospital will report Lee KG is missing. And last time, that corpse walked into the hospital's morgue. Trier, in the villa, Jenna pushed open the door to the top floor sunroom and saw LEMMiNO sitting on the spacious balcony, gazing at the Srenzo River. At this moment, the sun was setting, draping the classical building in the opposite flank in a golden red coat. The whistles of the steamships returning to port sounded. What are you thinking about? Jenna asked. About the 2 things Amon said, LEMMiNO said. Which 2? One was that Peng Deng really wanted to hint at something else, and the other that we need to learn how to filter out the interference of complex information with the most fundamental. The most fundamental. Jenna turned her body about to discuss whether such words from Amon, a top-tier con artist, could really be trusted. When she saw LEMMiNO stand up and walk out, she was stunned and followed. 10:34. No, that's fine. We'll end volume 6 tomorrow then, I guess. LEMMiNO came to the living room on the first floor and said to Madam Magician, I have some guesses and ideas. When I return to the dream, I want to organize an action soon to awaken the Celestial Worthy and awaken Mr. Fool. At that time, please cooperate with me. Magician stood up, not bothering to ask LEMMiNO what the guesses and ideas were, and said, how confident are you? Not very. It's more to verify. How many volumes after this? 2. But the next 2 volumes are 150 chapters combined. That's it. Ooth, you and Sal, man. Listen, you guys can't ever say I don't give a fuck about you guys, okay? I'm getting through this bitch so quickly for you guys. 150 chapters is really nothing. Oh, whoa, what the fuck? Oh my god. Do you guys see this back here? It's because the sun is shining on the green screen there. Haha. Aw, Chris, thanks, buddy. Love you. How can 2 volumes be that small? Because Cuttlefish just became a bum bitch. I don't know. We've collected a lot of information, obtained some resources. Sasha is about to arrive in Yongdu, symbolizing the situation in the dream is about to develop. It's time for us to take the initiative and do something. We can't always be reactionary. When the time comes, if we succeed, everyone can be rejoiced. Even if we can't awaken Mr. Fool, it shows that we have found the right path, and we can continue pushing. If we fail, we can eliminate some incorrect guesses in wrong direction and won't need to waste time. I only have one chance to enter the dream, and if we encounter failure, it's just right to pass the coin, not hinder the efforts of those who come after. Lone Pursuits LOTM lectures? What? Jenna was about to ask about important details when Madam Magician had already asked her, what about the Two of Cups? She hasn't digested her potion yet. She won't directly participate. If the attempt fails, the dream will continue to exist, not affecting her digestion, and if she succeeds, her potion should already be digested, as will my own. Well, to be safe, please ask Mr. Sun to stand by, ready to extract her characteristic if needed. Alright, Magician said. What are your new guesses and ideas? I can't tell you. All of you were closely related to Mr. Fool, which means you are all closely related to the Celestial Worthy. Although most of you won't be influenced by this, you may be watched by him. I will tell you my thoughts when the operation begins. The problem for me and Palace directly comes from our pathway and status, but others do frequently enter and exit the grey fog, occasionally praying to Mr. Fool. Alright. You are now the one in the Dream City, so you are the captain. Lead. In the Dream City, late at night, Jenna, who had returned to her room with Ludwig, while Franca stayed behind to take care of LEMMiNO. Although Franca had observed Mushu Hospital in the afternoon and found there were many people around who seemed to be in plainclothes police officers, believing that the cultists inside would behave for a while, she still thought it necessary to guard against the possibility of LEMMiNO being drawn by Amibel's bloodline and sneaking over. She hadn't seen any news about changing the name of the hospital's website. In a hidden place not far from the Crimson Moon Hospital, Jenna took out an ice amulet that Franca had given her. Franca, who had become a demoness of despair, no longer needed any help to enter the area behind the mirror and travel through the mirror world. So she gave all her charms to Jenna. After setting up a makeup mirror, Jenna held Ludwig's hand in one and gripped the ice amulet in the other. In the flickering light of the glass, the two instantly dove into the mirror hidden in the corridor, traversing to behind the mirror-like objects. After observing for a while, Jenna led Ludwig out of the mirror-like objects and nimbly leapt onto the corridor. Because the room was empty with no patient staying behind, the iron door wasn't locked, and Jenna slipped in. Then she said to Ludwig, "See anything edible over there?" Ludwig pointed to the blanket. "It can be eaten." And the bed itself. "This too." "I mean, better food, like mushrooms." "No." Jenna took advantage of the remaining effects of the ice amulet and left with Ludwig, before long repeating the process, appearing with Ludwig in Frank's room. "Anything here?" "No." "Frank's product isn't here. What the fuck?" Leaving the psychiatric ward and coming to the tree-lined road outside, planning to circle to the front of the main building. The power of the amulet to traverse the mirror world had faded, and Jenna didn't want to unnecessarily use another charm. Now, walking neither fast nor slow, Jenna pondered. Where could that mushroom be? Fusing with Frank? Vanish into thin air under the chief's gaze? Or did Frank throw it in the corner of the basement? The basement doesn't welcome unrelated personnel. How to search? Use Leodero to split open, but that would destroy the mushroom. Jenna had a spiritual premonition. She turned her body and raised her head to look at the main building. Towards a room high up, a face appeared behind the mirror, a face wrapped in bandages with only eyes and a nostril exposed. In Jenna's moment of terror, something passed through the glass, falling. The face retreated to the shadows, and with her night vision, Jenna identified what was floating. A dried, lifeless, jellyfish-like mushroom. This mushroom corpse fell faster than the leaves, and in just a few seconds, Ludwig reached out and caught it. Seeing this, Jenna asked, "Can it be eaten?" Alright, we got 4 more chapters. But like what time? Hope, if we do the same time, if we do the same time as today, would that work? Oh, I'm so tired, bro. I'm 1.5 chapters ahead. Okay, yeah, sounds good, man. Jenna noticed that the Ludwig and that the jellyfish-like mushroom had already withered and died, unable to treat Antigonus, which was why she asked if Ludwig the mushroom could be eaten. Of course, she didn't mean for Antigonus to eat it. As a vegetative patient, he no longer had the ability to chew and swallow. And grinding the mushroom into a powder or juice to provide it to him via intravenous drip was an area she didn't understand and couldn't judge whether it would be effective. 3 a.m. I'll manage. So, like, you prefer even earlier than this? I can't do much earlier than this if I'm honest, because like I finish work an hour and a half before this. How much earlier can I do? What Jenna really wanted to ask was whether Ludwig could eat this mushroom, and if after eating it, he could gain the ability to treat the patient. It can, Ludwig said, but I don't know what can be gained from it. Even he can't tell, eh? This must be special. Jenna said, put the mushroom away. Give it to me, I'll put it in my bag. You start at 12:30 a.m. for me? It's 2:30 now? Fuck. Jesus Christ. Dude. Same time zone as Hope? What time zone are you guys in? That's 5 hours ahead. Seven hours ahead. You guys, Dr. Z time should be about 3, so you're like close to Iran. A little bit back from that. Interesting. Ludwig clenched his fist and shook his head while stuffing the mushroom into his coat pocket. Jenna didn't have any intention of taking it away forcibly. She held Ludwig's hand and walked to the exit of the hospital. Only now did she have the energy to think about what had just happened. Frank's mushrooms fell into the hands of the person wrapped in bandages, and that person gave it to us. Lumin mentioned that after his colleague were struck by lightning, they now have this scary appearance. When he came to the hospital last time, one of them asked for his help, and this time he encountered Old Ding. Old Ding was hinting at him to pay attention to the no entry sign. Was it Old Wing or Old Ding who threw down the mushroom? If it was Old Ding, that would make sense. He was there when Frank was sent to the basement. But if he had stayed in the basement so long, it means he's no longer unauthorized. Who does he represent? Why is he trying to help? I wonder if this is the final product. Amidst these thoughts, Jenna took Ludwig back to room 2303. Moscow time, give or take? What? Wait, does all of Russia have one time zone? Because Russia is huge. They should have like 5 different ones. Amidst these thoughts, Jenna took Ludwig to the room 2303 in Deschamps Garden by taxi. She told Franka about their encounter and asked Ludwig to take out the mushroom. There are like 10? Oh wow, okay. Franka's gaze at the mushroom pondered. It's just most Russians are from +3? I see. Franka gazed at the mushroom, pondered for a moment, and said, my spiritual intuition tells me that this should be the final version of the mushroom created by Frank, but its specific effects are unknown. Even the divination methods provide an answer. Oh my god, I know where Hope is from. And I know where XS is from. I got it. This was not only because the treatment subject was antigenous, but also because the mushroom itself was special. Should I eat it now? Ludwig said. Wait until your godfather returns. It wasn't that they weren't worried about the changes happening to the mushroom in the next dozen hours, but the situation was not suitable for experimenting. At present, Lumin and Anthony were outside the dream. Lumin had been frightened and needed close monitoring, and Franca couldn't withstand major accidents and couldn't attempt anything too risky. It's not... Yeah, no I'm not saying Russia. I got it. So if Ludwig ate the mushroom now and something unexpected happened, the whole thing may collapse. Okay, Ludwig said. Jenna glanced towards the bedroom direction and asked, how's LEMMiNO doing? Being inexplicably arrested by the police, she was definitely shocked. She only truly fell asleep 2 minutes before you returned to the dream. You should go visit Anthony and confirm his situation. After Anthony was kicked out of the dream, Franca had actually been funny, but not Ukrainian. Yeah, I don't think you're Ukrainian. I know what you are. And first of all, Ukraine and Russia is not the same thing, bro. I'm not taking fucking Putin's word for it, okay? After Anthony was kicked out of the dream, Franca had actually been worried about his dream manifestation and Royd, but was too busy to observe and protect him. In the morning, she had to take care of Ludwig and look after Lucian, and in the afternoon, she went to the hospital to provide support, and then was busy asking Queen Mystic to help bail out LEMMiNO. Alright, Jenna also had these concerns. Uzbekistan? Fuck! Oh, you're not from Uzbekistan. Oh, never mind. Okay. Phew! No, he's Romanian, guys. Damn, I was about to break out my Russian. He's Romanian. You haven't figured it out? Jenna also had these concerns, but she had to prioritize finding the mushroom that Frank might have left behind. Since returning to the Dream City, she had been constantly on the move without rest. I know, Hope. I know. That's the point. I made you think I was so sure. Like, oh my god, like, does he know? Do you want to hear my favorite clip ever? Oh, well, one of my favorite clips ever. Because I feel like I've said this 9 different times. I'm taking this personally, you should. I think this is the one. This should be the one.
Ce vrei, mă, că am moli, coi? Ce vrei, să mă bat prin moli? Ce pula mea vrei să fac?
Mid.
Unleash the beast! Romanian beast!
Dobre backshot.
Bă, vin, coi, ești prost. Wait, you guys are stacked. How are you toxic to each other? Romanian, bro. Ce vrei, mă, că...
This is not the one. Fuck, this is not the one. Fuck, there's can I find it? Oh, got it. This is it.
BMW.
What year is your BMW?
45 petrol.
Good year, yes. 1945.
About scamming, yes? What do you do for work if you're not a scammer?
He steals stuff in Romania.
He steals stuff. He Romanian.
Hello, you live in Romania, yes? I have a question.
Yes.
If you drop a wallet on floor, what touch it first, bacteria or Romania?
Romanian.
Fucking cigar.
Anyone download the updated? Dude, No, I'm not in touch with the old gang to play it anymore. I don't have anyone to play it with. I would love nothing more than to boot up Black Ops 2. In the Jinhong district, in a rented apartment, Jenna's figure emerged from a dark corner. She looked at the smallest bedroom closer to the kitchen and heard long breaths. Best COD ever? Wrong. Second? Close. Third. I'm wrong. Third. Tied for third. Tied for third. No, tied for third, for sure. Tied for third. In my book, it goes Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 2 tied. But Modern Warfare 2 Intervention Rust 1v1s is just, that is a core memory I will never ever get over. We have the same four. Just in different order. Her intuition told her that the person sleeping inside was Anthony. Jenna relaxed and surveyed the room. She saw a wine glass on the table, a plate with crumbs of salted crispy peanuts, a plate of unfinished cold sliced pork, hard meat, and a plate with only remnants of mashed potatoes. You can play. Uth, do you have a PlayStation? This was consistent with Anthony's cooking level. Mashed potatoes were a delicacy both inside and outside the dream, while cold sliced pork meat and salty crispy peanuts can be bought from various street vendors. The scene appeared before Jenna's eyes. Anthony, in a good mood, bought himself a bottle of wine, had a couple of glasses with peanuts, pork hard meat, and mashed potatoes. Afterwards, he was a bit tipsy and decided to clean up dishes the next day. He was quite leisurely. Anthony truly knew how to enjoy life. She then thought, would Anthony's character prototype also be like this in private? Sell your PlayStation was sorry as shit. Wrong. Okay, Uth, if you get the Black Ops 2... Wait, Chris, is it just Black Ops 2 that got thing, or was there other Call of Duties that also got, like, renewed? How does that work? Because I think Modern Warfare 2 also got it, too. Am I crazy? Because if it did, I'm getting Modern Warfare 2. I'm not getting Black Ops. I'm too poor to get them both. She then thought, would Anne Royd's character, if it's just Black Ops 2, then obviously I'm getting that. She then thought, would Anthony's... Wait, hold on. I believe it's Black Ops and Black Ops 2. Okay, then we'll do Black Ops 2. It's more fun playing multiplayer. Black Ops 1 is more fun because of zombies. I think I enjoy the original zombies way more, but I will take, for online, I'll take Black Ops 2. Okay, Uth, we'll take Black Ops 2. We'll do, bro, Sony literally embodied the phrase unlimited game but no game. I know exactly what you're referencing. I know exactly the clip you're referencing. Okay, Uth, if you can get Black Ops 2 before the weekend, we can play on the weekend, okay? I don't have any time before that, because, look, I fucked myself with this shithole schedule I decided to agree to. But we can play on the weekend, okay? At this moment, Jenna felt that Anthony was no longer the ever-calm psychiatrist. While marveling, she didn't let her guard down and quickly checked whether this situation was abnormal and whether the sleeping android in the room had any issues. After about 7 or 8 minutes, having snuck into the corresponding bedroom twice, Jenna relaxed and felt relieved and left. In the next moment, after waking up, Jenna got out of bed, afraid of disturbing LEMMiNO. Unexpectedly, LEMMiNO was a light sleeper and woke up. Seeing it was Jenna, she relaxed and smiled. I had a nightmare. I dreamt I was arrested by the police. He said I committed a murder and arson, and did all kind of evil things. At this point, she froze. I was arrested! I'm innocent! I didn't do anything! It's okay, you're fine, Jenna said. Later, there'll be lawyers to help you. The innocent will be cleared. Franco had slept on the carpet and only came in when she heard the commotion. Couldn't help but laugh. The innocent will be cleared? Unlimited bacon but no game, or unlimited game but no game, yeah. There was nothing wrong with this sentence, but we really did kill Zara Tool. She held back her laughter and joined in comforting LEMMiNO. After a while, LEMMiNO calmed down and said to Gina and Lu Fu, I didn't mention any of you at the police station. She had a "aren't I great and clever" expression on her face. Great job, Frank and Jenna praised. Miss Huang will come to pick you up later. You'll stay at her place for the next couple of days. Franca took the opportunity to tell LEMMiNO. To prevent LEMMiNO from implicating Franca and Jenna, when Queen Mystic hired a lawyer to bail her out, she had actually provided a new residence, but because Queen Mystic had to prepare for the matter of banishing the mirrored Roselle and had no time to look for LEMMiNO, Franca, worried that LEMMiNO may wander off, still took the chance to bring her back and hold out for just one night. I maybe would have scammed my way out of the band. Let's go! Now, Queen Mystic finally had time, and by the afternoon, Lumion would return. After LEMMiNO was picked up by Queen Mystic, Jenna left for work at the Hall Company. Anthony, who had returned to the Dream, took on a responsibility of looking after Ludwig, and Franca, who had some free time, took a taxi to their tech building. For her, the process wasn't important, and what was getting the salary of half a month she had worked for. Perhaps because Miss Huang had given a heads up, Franca didn't even have a chance to take out her materials like her family surgery notice with the official stamp of fucking something. She quickly went through the process without anyone giving her a hard time. Finally, she took the certification given by HR and went to the finance department to settle her wages. She received 3,500 yuan after her deductions. Wow, Hope a fake fan for real. He's not even going to show up for the Volume 6 ender. Sag. Not bad. The first salary from a no formal job in my life. That's a dream, I suppose. She planned to say goodbye to Lushan in the admin department and leave the tech building. Just as she passed the tech department, not yet near the admin department, Franca, still wearing those old-fashioned black frame glasses, heard a voice, "Lu Fu!" She turned around and saw Klein. "What a coincidence! I heard you're resigning." Franca had noticed a bit of discrimination in Zhou's eyes, as if he had made up his mind to do something. He's not going to ask about the hospital, is he? Fuck. Oh my god. Yes, there's been an issue at home. Franca first answered Klein's first question, then made a quick idea and said, "I'm going to find Lushan. Once I've dealt with the family issue, I'll treat you all to a meal and we can have a good chat." Alright, we'll talk another day, Klein nodded. He could tell Lu Fu didn't want to say much right now, as if she seemed to be afraid. Franca sighed and said, "See you." After turning around, she muttered, "Thank God he's not one of those stubborn types." Hall Company, talent department. During a break in her physical training, Jenna walked out of the classroom and turned to the restroom. On the way, she encountered Jian Yu, responsible for her and the other new talents. "What are you busy with?" she asked, seeing Jian Yu busy. "The summer season is ending. The Weird Pirate 3 is about to finish its run. We need to prepare for the celebration party, subsequent developments, and a series of other things." The Great Pirate 3 is about to finish its run. Based on the common knowledge she had learned, she thought it was a very normal thing, but also felt it ill-timed. When Lumion returns to the Dream, they were planning to let Ludwig eat that dried mushroom to see if he could help treat Antigonus related to the Gehrman Sparrow direction they were pursuing. At this moment, the Great Pirate 3, which further shaped Gehrman's character, was about to end its run. Could it be some kind of symbolism? "Is the stage play for the Great Pirate 3 about to be officially scheduled?" Jen asked. "Yes, you may try your luck then. Who knows, you may get a role." In the spacious, bright, modern apartment, Bernadette, who had just entered, saw LEMMiNO reclining again on the bay window. "What are you reading?" Bernadette asked. "A romance novel, one of those melodramatic ones," LEMMiNO said, looking a bit embarrassed. "I may put it in prison later. I've checked, most of these books are there for learning. I should read some leisure books while I can." "You probably won't be sentenced. You really didn't do what they accuse you of. Why don't you go out for some activity? It's windy today, not too hot." "I went jogging this morning," LEMMiNO said. "I love exercising. My mom has always been in poor health, so when I was little, maybe it's hereditary. So they didn't always let me do intense exercise, didn't let me run around and play with my classmates. Later, when I became an adult, I rebelled. I went running, cycling, playing badminton, and so on without telling them. Nothing happened. When you grow up, you do what you want, Queen Mystic said. But now, I want them to restrict me again, LEMMiNO said. And Bernadette fell silent. Eh? By the afternoon, LEMMiNO had returned to the city. And the first thing he did was not to look at Queen Mystic, sitting on the sofa, but to check on his own condition. Queen Mystic said, "After being kicked out of the dream twice, there will be several major restrictions when you come back in. First, you can't display beyonder powers or obvious hostility in front of other dream manifestations, especially the celestial worthy subordinate, or you will be kicked out immediately. Second, some hints that wouldn't have gotten you kicked out before will now attract the celestial worthy's attention. Third, you being kicked out will implicate the outsiders around you." Quite troublesome, LEMMiNO chuckled. "I've transferred that $500,000 to you. We'll take action this afternoon. We cannot wait any longer." "Alright," LEMMiNO stood up and said, "I'll go rent an item first." Star Dream Provision Store. LEMMiNO, in his demoness of despair state, walked to the shopkeeper and said, "I'd like to rent an item." "Which one?" LEMMiNO thought and said, "Do you have any recommendations?" He wanted to test if the shopkeeper would give any hints. "Depends on your needs," the shopkeeper answered. LEMMiNO looked at Eridas, the brass book, the quill pen, and the others, and said, "I'll rent that mirror again." If it was purely for detailing and constraining Roselle, he would have chosen the brass book. But tomorrow he still wanted to try weakening the celestial worthy and awakening the fool. And that magic mirror creation was related to the God Almighty, having its own hidden aspects. Moreover, the only sealed artifact the fool carried with him. It likely played an important role in weakening the celestial worthy and awakening the fool. Its history and treatment it received were both incomparable to others. "How many days do you need to rent it for?" the shopkeeper smiled. "1 day's enough." He had enough cash to rent it for 2, but considering that his guests' ideas and actions may not be correct and the final result may not be as expected, Queen Mystic would likely be kicked out of the dream, making it difficult for the team to encounter such a generous patron again. He'd left some money for the others. That way, even if the operation failed, causing him to be kicked out, the remaining people would still have some money to make attempts. The shopkeeper didn't say anything else and took out a point-of-sale machine, letting LEMMiNO swipe his card and sign the contract. LEMMiNO walked out with Eridas when his phone rang. An unfamiliar number. After using the information shredder to delete his contacts, all numbers were unfamiliar to him, and LEMMiNO chose to answer. "Why didn't you come for the night shift last night? Don't you know how to apply for leave in advance? This is called absenteeism." A call from work. LEMMiNO switched to his male voice. "I quit. Do what you want." The person on the other end was speechless. "You don't want your last month's salary?" "Give it to those in need, thank you." LEMMiNO hung up. He then got into Miss Wink's car and did the go. This is how we all would love to speak to some fucking asshole from HR or whatever. It's like, fucking, "I quit. Keep the last week's wages and fuck off. Later, I'll be responsible for clinging on to her." Getting kicked out of the dream together, you need to hide in the shadows, guarding against her, leaving the corresponding area in advance. For this operation, except for Jenna, who couldn't get away from the company, LEMMiNO, Franca, Anthony, and Ludwig would all participate. Among them, LEMMiNO would play the role Queen Mystic had when dealing with Zartul, not directly appearing, but interfering and exerting influence from the shadows. Franca would decide whether to confront directly based on the situation, with Anthony assisting. If they could bring some despair to Roselle, it would greatly help Franca digest her potion. Do I need to ask the magic mirror some questions? He felt the core of Queen Mystic's plan was to use the rule the third kick-out will implicate outsiders. "No need. I need to know what I need," Queen Mystic said. "You can't hide behind mirrors later. She has much stronger control over that world than you." "Understood," LEMMiNO said. In the palace-like villa, after asking the butler, Bernadette took the elevator to the 4th floor towards her father's study. Huang Tao had gone to the company for a while in the morning and returned at noon. Arriving outside the study, Bernadette raised her right hand and knocked. When she was young, she was spoiled at home and would open any door she wanted without ever asking, but accidentally witnessing a few things she shouldn't, she learned, inherently, to knock. "Come in," Huang said. Bernadette turned the handle and walked into the sunlit study, seeing her father standing by the window. This suddenly gave her a feeling of returning to the past. Holding back, she didn't understand why her father always gazed out west, facing floor-to-ceiling windows. "Dad," Bernadette called out. "You came at just the right time," Huang Tao said. "Why do you say that?" "I'm going to leave this place." "What do you mean?" "How could I let my princess be in a difficult position?" "What?" Bernadette understood her father's words and was stunned. Huang looked at his daughter and smiled with both satisfaction and emotion. "I am so glad that you hesitated for a few days." When she heard, Bernadette's lips moved imperceptibly, but she couldn't bring herself to speak. Huang's gaze looked out the open door in the corridor outside and said, "Before I leave, I wish to give you all a gift." As he finished speaking, all the mirrors in the study lit up with a radiance. Huang's figure disappeared from where he had been standing. Trying to run? Franca, who was hidden in the shadows, rushed out, suspecting that the mirrored Roselle had appealed to emotion just now, preventing Queen Mystic from reacting immediately, allowing him to escape. And Franca, in her invisible state, saw Bernadette transform into ethereal and complex information, rushing like a torrent into the mirror in front of her. She closely pursued Roselle, and Franca didn't hesitate, reaching out her palm and pressed against the mirror from a distance. Her body leaned forward, became ethereal, and passing through the glass mirror. Anthony, who had snuck in using psychological invisibility, ran into the study. Then Lumin, who had teleported over while holding Ludwig's hand, grabbed his shoulder and brought him to the mirror world. They followed the traces left behind by the mirrored Roselle, constantly moving through the deep tunnels, spider-like webs in the darkness. Pursuing like this for dozens of seconds, the tunnels around them becoming sparser, the darkness growing deeper. Finally, the mirrored Roselle stopped and turned around. He was positioned at the edge of an area of a void and deep darkness, but behind him there were no more tunnels, only profound darkness. In the depths of that darkness, faint grey fog could be seen spreading, with an endless city hidden in the mist like a mirage. The others heard the sound of a heartbeat. It seemed to be both their own and coming from the bottom of that darkness. "There are some things that can be said now," Roselle said, smiling. One more step and he would retreat to that pure darkness. "What things?" Bernadette asked. "The gift is 3 sentences. First, I have preliminarily achieved my purpose for entering this dream in every aspect." As he said this, Roselle was gazing at Bernadette. The subtext seemed to be saying, "My greatest purpose was to find an opportunity to truly spend a few days with my princess as a father and daughter." Bernadette fell silent, but Lumin was thinking. The purpose had been achieved? The task given by the one worshipped by the Aurora Order complete? And the one given by the Celestial Worthy too? Roselle seemed to guess what Lumin and the others were thinking and laughed. "It is as you were thinking." Before Lumin could ask further, Huang turned to Queen Mystic and said the second sentence. "It is possible for people inside and the people outside to merge." Hearing this, Lumin and Franca remembered something Crismona had said to Jenna: "Reconcile with your mirror self." Is this the same thing? It doesn't seem so. Reconciliation isn't the same as merging. When Lumin looked at Franca in front of him, he found she was also looking at him. Bernadette remained silent, not responding to the mirrored Roselle. Huang then said with a smile, "The apocalypse may come earlier than prophesized. Be prepared." After saying this, he looked at Bernadette and said in a joking tone, There are 5 4 heavenly kings in 4 sentences in 3 sentences. It's very reasonable. Roselle paused and smiled tenderly at Bernadette. These past few days, Dad has been very happy. Truly. Remember, I will never put you in a difficult position. Bernadette opened her mouth, but still couldn't speak. As Huang spoke, he retreated to the pure darkness. His body changed, transforming to a fashionable middle-aged man into an alluring woman with long chestnut hair and a mature aura. The dream's repulsive forces descended upon her, triggered by her entry to the darkness. Roselle maintained a gentle smile and continued to speak. I hate him very much, dislike him, but my feelings in some aspects are the same as his. Even more extreme, more irrational. I've left a lawyer witness letter saying that I will be traveling, indulging, and that you will handle matters of the Intis group for me. You should all retreat, or you will be affected and rejected by the dream. Roselle then looked at Lumion. We will meet again. Also, I've left a gift for you in the desk drawer. A gift? Feeling the dream's repulsive force, everyone retreated, Roselle's figure fading, seemingly dissolving into the darkness. She smiled at Bernadette and said, Leave, quickly. Bernadette stepped back, instinctively, her eyes misty. She hummed a melody familiar to the mirrored Roselle. This is some very hyper copyrighted music, isn't it, Kami? I can just tell by the quality shift in in my headphones. What did you just put on for me? Then she began humming along, singing the lyrics corresponding to that melody. The scars in the sky don't speak. The babies on the earth miss their mother. The Promised Neverland Oasis. What are you doing to me, bro? Expressions of reminiscence, gratification, and emotions appeared on Roselle's face. She persisted until Bernadette disappeared into the mirror tunnel, only then giving up resistance. Her figure vanished, dissolving to the darkness. The dream's force enveloped the area, only receding after a dozen seconds. After a while, Bernadette and the others returned. She had indeed been kicked out of the dream permanently, Bernadette said. Smoother than I thought. You felt it would upset Bernadette. As for those high-sequence beyonders, an emotional outburst, the possibility of losing control. Any thoughts on the 3 sentence? Lumion had already analyzed. The second sentence about the possibility of merging between the original and the mirror person likely is exaggerated and has false components. The third sentence aligns with some of my thoughts. Though it may not be false, the apocalypse may come early. As for the first, I'm inclined to believe it. So she has completed the task given by the Celestial Worthy? These past few days, when we weren't paying attention, did she do something to Klein to lay the groundwork? No. These past few days I've been watching her. She shouldn't have had the chance. Perhaps her existence itself is some kind of symbolism, enabling her to complete the task given by the Celestial Worthy. Before the others could speak, he pointed to the depths of the darkness and said, Doesn't that look like the 4th sealed epoch trier? A special mirror world, Frank understood. Mr. Fool's dream originally shouldn't have contained the 4th epoch trier in the special mirror world that produced from attaching to that 4th epoch trier. but after the mirrored Roselle had entered, her essence and special nature gave her corresponding meaning. So in the depths of the dream, that special mirror world and that sealed fourth epoch trio took shape. And we previously speculated that one of Zaratul's main goals was to have Zhou drink the witch potion, produce a stable, long-term mirror person. Then the celestial worthy could use the mirror person to accomplish some things. Apart from consuming the witch potion, another way to make a person produce a stable, long-term mirror person is to come into contact with that special mirror world. Zaratul was both looking for opportunities to induce Zhou Mengrui's advancement himself and introducing the mirrored Roselle so as to bring the special mirror world, a two-pronged approach. Queen Mystic then said, Zhou Mengrui probably hasn't come into contact with the special mirror world yet and hasn't produced a corresponding mirror person, but afterward the celestial worthy's side will have arrangements. So we can't delay our actions, Lumin nodded. Yes, we are on the precipice, there is no backing down. Yes, Franca agreed. Returning to Huang Tao's study, Bernadette walked over, guided by her spirituality, and pulled open a drawer in the desk. A gift he left to Lumion. Lumion came around and saw a card. The card lay quietly on a stack of documents, a surface depicting the image of the mirrored Roselle from earlier. A voluptuous figure, a card of blasphemy, wearing a black dress adorned with a golden crown inlaid with jewels, alluring figures, mature aura, and charm. In the upper left corner, a line of text, condensed from brilliant starlight. Sequence 0. Primordial Demoness. A card of blasphemy. The Demoness card. Ain't nothing like a demoness. God damn. Alright, last chapter for today. Let's get this done. I'm like 20 minutes late behind schedule, but even then, you wouldn't believe it. I'm still done by the time I would start stream normally. And that's huge. A card of blasphemy representing a path to godhood created by Roselle based on the second blasphemy slate. Everyone was stunned. They had learned of the cards of blasphemy from Roselle's diary and various mystical knowledge, but for items of this level naturally possessed anti-prophecy and anti-divination properties, so they'd only heard of them. And now the card had appeared before them. Hi Alma, long time no see! I'm good, how are you? A gift left for Lumion by Roselle. In a flash, Lumion thought, is she so kind? And at this moment, Queen Mystic spoke. It is real. A real card of blasphemy. A demoness card? Franca leaned in. Lumion remained silent, then chuckled, and reached to take the card. He had accrued so many debts, and had so many creditors. What was one more? Queen Mystic looked at the card in Lumion's hand and said, the activation incantation should be my name. An ancient face sack. Lumion said, Bernadette, an ancient face sack. Instantly, the card generated an invisible vortex, drawing in Lumion's spirit and spirituality. And soon the card became three-dimensional, becoming a miniature book. The book opened, revealing Roselle dressed as an Assassin's Creed character, a clean-shaven male Roselle. Sequence 9, Roselle. What? Sequence 9, Assassin. Potion formula. Lumin reached out to touch the card that had become a book, watching it flip through pages, seeing Roselle's image change from male to female, becoming increasingly beautiful, alluring, overlapping with the appearance of the mirrored Roselle. Finally, the image of the mirrored Roselle, seemingly much younger and resembling a young girl, appeared. Sequence 3, Demoness of Unaging. Every demoness of unaging is forever youthful, skilled in resurrection, bizarrely difficult to kill, and a darling of the mirror world. Potion formula. Main ingredient, 1 heart of a mirror god, a pair of Gorgon eyes. Supplementary ingredients, 9 drops of mirrored god fragments, 80 milliliters of Gorgon blood, an antique mirror over 500 years old, a corresponding mirror realm, 22 drops of water from a drowned peasant's lungs. Find your mirror self, enslave them solely with your own power, or make them infatuated with you, or reconcile with them. Seeing this, they all understood. Chrismona mentioning reconciling with your mirror self. Sequence 2, Demoness of Catastrophe. The Demoness of Catastrophe brings various disasters such as blizzards, floods, tsunamis, earthquakes, meteor strikes. Everyone who mentions their names feels fear from the bottom of their hearts. A ritual as a participant caused a disaster affecting an entire continent and advanced during. Sequence 1, Demoness of Apocalypse. Ritual. Advance at the universally acknowledged end of an epoch or the beginning of the next. Advance during the signs and the process of the apocalypse's arrival. Advance when one's involvement leads to the fall of a deity. Any one of these 3 will be effective. According to the mirrored Roselle, words of my deduction and the apocalypse will come early. Is he saying that he's going to become a sequence 1 during the apocalypse? Cool. Sequence 0, Primordial. The source of catastrophes, symbol of the apocalypse, and the demoness who wields chaos, ruler of the mirror world, corresponding to the feminine aspect of the original creator. Ritual. Lumin wanted to see what the apotheosis ritual was, but found the text was blurry and unclear, as if obscured. Lumin turned his head to Bernadette. Your Highness, can you see the contents? The power obscuring it is of a high level, at least a god. Lumin and Franca exchanged glances but didn't pursue it further. For them, apotheosis was far from a relevant matter at the moment. Since I wasn't kicked out of the dream, I can also participate in your operation, Queen Mystic said. Thank you, Lumin acknowledged, and put the card into his traveler bag. When Lumin and the others returned to the Jinhong district, the sunlight was bright, as if it wasn't even afternoon yet. Should we let Ludwig eat that mushroom now? Ah, fuck it, why not, Lumin said. But you should leave. Go back to the Shang Garden. I'm afraid your life may be ended by the mutation brought by the mushroom. This wasn't saying the mushroom could harm Franca directly, but the corresponding mutation may be extreme, drawing the Celestial Worthy's attention, unbearable for Franca, who hadn't even digested the despair potion. All right, Franca said. Only then did Lumin sit in the chair Franca had pulled and said to Ludwig, You can eat. Ludwig had been holding back for so long and took out the mushroom. Seeing this, Lumin turned his head to Anthony and said, Pay attention to placating his mind and emotions. I forgot Anthony was here, bro. Okay, Anthony said, as his eyes became vertical. Ludwig chewed and looked at the mushroom with a hint of fear. He chewed it up and swallowed it. Lumin and Anthony's spirits tensed. As time passed, Ludwig opened his mouth and evaluated the changes. I can create a kind of spore that enters the human body, repairing nerves and flesh, merging spirituality and soul. This may wake up people in a vegetative state, but the condition of the patient after merging is unknown. As Ludwig spoke, Lumin and Anthony saw masses of flesh writhing under his skin, bulging the skin and sinking. This made Ludwig look like he was wearing a skin suit. Suddenly, the skin on his neck split open, and a mushroom sprouted out. Ludwig raised his right hand nonchalantly, plucked off the mushroom with a snap, and stuffed it in his mouth. The wound on his neck healed quickly. So the mushroom intermittently grew out of Ludwig's body, but he would pluck them off and use them as snacks, forming a strange balance. Can eating these mushrooms make you full? Ludwig looked at his godfather. Can you get full by sucking on your fingers? Should we take him to the Red Moon Hospital, try to treat Antigonus? Anthony asked. No rush. Let's wait until tomorrow when we can officially take action. Anthony didn't hide his confusion. Seeing LEMMiNO didn't explain, he simply closed his mouth. If he's not saying, there must be a reason. The next morning, LEMMiNO stood on the balcony of the master bedroom, gazing at the tree-lined internal roads of the community and passing electric cars and bicycles. After a while, he withdrew his gaze, walking into the living room and placing Eridas on the dining table. They had figured out they only had 3 questions within 24 hours. LEMMiNO looked at the mirror and said, "Great Eridas, I wish to ask you a question. The first question of the day." I can answer any question you may ask, but you may also answer an equal number of questions from me in the presence of at least one witness. If you refuse to answer or lie, you will face punishment. LEMMiNO nodded. My question, is it a coincidence that the Celestial Worthy's attempt to use the mirror people in your birth as a mirror occurred at the same time? No. Makes sense. Makes sense. Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially done. For the day. We got cool. Alright, we're officially done for the day. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Any progress is good. Yep. Tomorrow we finish. Tomorrow we finish Volume 6. Did you see my earlier message? Thoughts on the Demoness info we just got? I mean, I feel like most of it was kind of understood, but it is cool. It is cool, man. Man, fuck, this stream was almost 3 hours. We're so fucked. Alright, fuck it, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, no, we're gonna talk about this more tomorrow, Chris, okay? I gotta go get some food, I'm starving. Damn. Alright, boys, we end another volume tomorrow, and then we got, what, 150 chapters after that? What's a solid, what's another 125 chapters between friends, eh? No, 155 chapters between friends, apologies. No. 125 chapters. Oh, we're laughing, dude. 125 chapters? We could do that so quickly. We could do that in like 10 days. We could do that for like... Dude, we could finish it by next weekend. If I keep at this pace, which is going to be rough, mind you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I need to keep this pace forever. But if I manage to, we could finish it by next weekend. Friends, I don't know about that one. Okay, you know what? Fuck you. I don't want to hear your story anymore, Sal, okay? Fucking hurt my feelings over here. Alright, bye guys. Talk to you guys tomorrow.